Here we go now.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, y'all. OMG. It's one of those Mondays. One of those Mondays. If it's not one thing, it's another. So hopefully you guys are taking a break from your day and also taking a break from the madness of a Monday morning. But it is game 3 of the Knicks, of the NBA Finals. Who are you rooting for? If you're rooting for San Antonio Spurs, get out of the room. I'm kidding. This is a safe space. I mean, we might boo you a little bit, but you can stay. You can definitely stay. Guys, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know, we do this every single Monday. Shout out to Foxy for emailing me and letting me know. For some reason, I must have put the 9th instead of the 8th. I must have just mixed up with my days this weekend. I don't know. Look, I'm always working, so, you know, every once in a while. But thankfully, you guys knew that it was today, that I wasn't pushing it back. Tomorrow, we'll talk about Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Later on this week, we'll also talk about Summer House reunion. I keep wanting to say Summer House Martha's Vineyard, but no. I am a blessing says my notifications were off. How dare they? How dare they? But make sure you're following me on all social media platforms because I did post it on Blue Sky. I posted on X. I posted on Threads that we were going live today. So make sure you follow me everywhere and make sure that you like today's video. Guys, don't forget, it is Pride Month. We still have our Pride Month merch. Head on over to houseofkempire.com. And we are raising money for the LGBT Center here in New York City. We did it last year. We broke a record last year with $6,000, over $6,000. This year, we set a goal for $10,000. We have not hit 1,000 yet this week. I think by today, we could hit 1,000. Go to any of our last couple of videos. If you're watching the replay of this, you'll be able to see it along the side here, along with the live chat replay. Help us. 100% of your donation goes to the organization thanks to YouTube giving. So donate what you can. Share our videos so some people in your friends, family circles, things like that can donate as well. 100% of your donation goes to this organization that is helping the community, not just the LGBT community. They're helping the community. All right. So thank you to the center for all the work that they do. Everyone says Nixon 4, Nixon 4. I did a video talking about that. I said, we don't even realize how powerful our words are. And that's what New Yorkers and fans of the Knicks have been chanting since the NBA Finals began. And I was like, I mean, words are powerful. And the last game was pretty damn close. I was like, oh, but we got it. We got it. So tonight is game 3. President Donald Trump will be attending, canceled all the little watch festivities that were around the garden. However, our lovely mayor has said that now you can have a watch party at Bryant Park. So there will be a watch party at Bryant Park for those that didn't see the announcement that the mayor made earlier today. There will be watch parties. I'll be in my home watching it instead of out in the heat with all the, vivacious fans. All right, guys, if you haven't already, shout out to the 162 of you that have already liked the video. I appreciate that. Y'all are the real MVPs. Okay. Y'all are the real MVPs. Guys, if you had to rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I thought it was a solid episode. I would say this was Drew's episode. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. I haven't loved Drew throughout the years. However, she's definitely shown so much growth with so many people coming at her. Last season, everybody was coming at her, including Portia. And now this season, we have K. Michelle coming at her. K. Michelle getting up from that table and leaving the scene when there really wasn't any smoke. There really wasn't anything that Drew was doing. And I know K. Michelle will go on social media and be like, I just was done with that. I didn't want to hear any more of the crap. Now she's victimizing herself, making it seem like, oh, it's not about the plot and scheme anymore. It's about her saying that I don't belong. Now that is what she's going to heart with. Before, there was nothing that Drew did or said that, you know, like legitimate that we could grasp onto. Now, because Drew says you don't belong, she's going to harp on that one. The fans are tired. The fans are tired of this mess. All right. All right. Let's get into this episode. So at the top of the episode, we have Pinky. Pinky. One thing I will say about Pinky, because there have been some people that do not like Pinky on the show. I actually do think Pinky's a good addition, even if she can be polarizing at times. But I do think what I got from her this episode is definitely giving Candy Burris vibes. Like, she is a serial entrepreneur. We're going to see her not just bring Slutty Vegan back to from where it was to where it's going, back at the top. And she's going to work on other things. She already announced she's coming out with a book because of what Angela said. Now we see in this episode, we see that she is collaborating with Notori Norton, which we know from Power and the Notorious B.I.G. movie, and of course 3LW. So Notori is a part of this project that she's working on. She's working on this scripted series about her life called Edgewood. All right. So she's a part of the project, and apparently Pinky, I saw on social media, says she's brought a lot of her famous friends on the show, including Montel Jordan, Tori Norton, Maury, Keisha Lance Bottoms, who's running for governor of Georgia. So she's brought a lot of these people. So she's letting people know, I run in these circles. I can appreciate it because so many of you always say, why you guys have these quote bottom feeders on this show? They just want to do reality television. They don't really know anything. They don't have any money, blah, blah, blah. And like we said, I know she's been talking about bankruptcies. That doesn't mean she doesn't have money. Okay, that doesn't mean she doesn't have money. Clearly, because she's funding this particular project herself. She reminds us that she has a producer's background. She was a casting director for Ayanna Fix My Life. She also was a producer on the Maury Povich show. So she wants to remind us that she actually has the experience to produce things. I will say this, though, because you see later on with Drew, yes, you might have the experience of producing, Pinky, but you don't have a track record when it comes to films and scripted. When it comes to Drew Sidora, if you're going to ask Drew Sidora to be in your project, and I'm not saying that Drew is above auditioning, because please understand, Drew would audition for the right role. If one of these big wigs in Hollywood, even Tyler Perry, was to come to Drew and say, we have this role that we think you might be good for, but you might have to audition for it. She would audition, but that's Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? Pinky, no shade to Pinky. That's not your field. Yes, we know you have a little bit of a background in it, but that's not your field. You do not have proven track record of producing something scripted. It's important to note that. We'll get back to that in just a second. Okay. So Pinky goes through her resume in regards to her producing history. All right. She says this particular project that she's working on, Edgewood, is where Atlanta meets Insecure. And I'm assuming she's talking about the show Atlanta, not necessarily the city of Atlanta. All right. Mr. Melon Magic updated his photo, and I have no idea who that is. What is that? What am I looking at, Mr. Melon Magic? What is that? That is scary. Whatever your new avatar is, that is scary. We still have yet to even see Mr. Melon Magic's real face. We've heard his voice, but we've yet to see his face. All right. Okay, could be the killer for all we know. Scary. All right. Jess says, put Kiarna and K. Michelle on a boat together, and I really would love for Monique to be on that boat too. Damn. Well, Monique is coming back to Real Housewives of Potomac, so. All right. Monique knew what she was doing with that, though. She was playing the game. She wanted to come back. She wanted that little Bravo check. Okay. Hey, Elliot, what's going on, guys? Be sure to let me know where you're watching from, and be sure to like today's video. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I was going to say Potomac because we got a little bit of Giselle in this week's episode. We'll get to that in a second. All right. All right, moving on. Not no face, no case. What are we talking about right now? Oh, in regards to Mr. Melon Magic, you know what? Okay. All right. Okay, thank you so much. The Girls Club. She says Pinky's talking about the city of Atlanta. Edgewood is in the city. All right. See, we learned something new. I wasn't sure what she was referring to because she mentioned the show Insecure. So I was like, wait, is she talking about the show or is she talking about Represent Yourself Legal? We haven't seen you in a hot second. How you doing? Shout out to everyone in the chat. All right. Let me see. Y'all fighting in the chat already? It's too early. It's a Monday morning. Stop. Okay, let me focus. All right. So she says it's Atlanta meets Insecure. Notori is set to play Pinky. Apparently, Notori and Pinky have been good friends for a very long time as well. Pinky says that she's funding this project herself. We went about 2 or 3 weeks without Pinky mentioning bankruptcy, but she says, this bankruptcy, I know you guys are concerned, but this bankruptcy, Edgewood is the hood. Did Pinky grow up in Atlanta? I thought she grew up in New York. I don't know, but okay. Maybe she spent a good majority of her, maybe she grew up in New York, like a part of her life, and then part was in, I don't know. Look, Pretty Girl says, isn't Pinky from Baltimore? I can't. Can we get the timeline together? Like, I'm not saying that she can't, but I'm like, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Amara says she's not from Edgewood, though. Why won't she use Baltimore to Atlanta? This is why we recap this show together, y'all. Because, okay, Pinky's from Baltimore, but she lived in New York, though, because isn't that where Slutty Vegan started? It was in New York. I can't. Not us catching lies. Well, maybe it's not a lie. I don't know. Okay, she grew up in Baltimore, but then she lived in New York, and that's where Slutty Vegan began, right? All right. Okay, Way of Keith says there's also a city in Maryland, called Edgewood. Okay. All right. Kyla says, I don't understand the Edgewood connection either because she's not from Atlanta. Okay. I don't know. Oh, Patricia, Orguan. Patricia says, I'm Jamaican and I'm still trying to find out what reggae band her mama was in. I don't know. Don't tell me we got another liar on this cast. Please understand. Oh, you know what Aisha said? Aisha, I've been watching some clips of when Giovanna was on the show. She said, Giovanna from Clark. Is she lying to us, y'all? Or maybe we're mixing things up. All right. Tamara says, as Arsenio would say, things that make you go, All right. Okay, Double says Pinky is from Baltimore, but she went to college in Atlanta. And then she lived in New York, right? Because that's where Slutty Vegan began. I can't. We will figure it out. I'm sure Pinky will talk about it on social media. Pinky, can you clear this up? Why is it called Edgewood? You grew up in Baltimore, but then you lived in New York, right? You lived in New York for a period of time, and that's where Slutty Vegan began, right? Am I making that up? All right, guys, be sure to like today's video. It's an easy free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If I get interrupted, y'all, this is what happens when you live in a building. They have to do stuff on your terrace. So just bear with me today. We're talking about reality show. This is real, okay? Every once in a while we get interrupted. But if I have to take a short break, you'll understand, okay? Okay, let me get back to this. Let me get back to my notes. All right. So it was a very short scene at the very beginning. Pinky is funding this new project. She says the bankruptcy is personal. This is business. All right. Cynthia hosts the ladies at Late Bailey. Cynthia really this season is working overtime. Did you guys see Cynthia's new confessional? Paris has Cynthia looking amazing this season. And I look forward to, because I know that they have to collaborate for her reunion look. And I thought her reunion look was decent last season, but I know she's going to kill it this year because she got a new body. Cynthia, I'm looking forward to this reunion look. And I get it. The friend of check is not as big as the Housewives check. And I do believe that Cynthia wants to be full-time. I do. And I think that might be part of the reason why we get to see LaPrince this episode. I think she'd be, Cynthia, no. I don't want you to be full-time. You did full-time for over a decade. I like you as a friend of, where you can come in and play. You have so many other businesses going on. This gives you the freedom to go and do those things. And I also don't want you to ruin this relationship with your young boyfriend. No. Okay. Drama Free says Slutty Vegan began in Atlanta, but she has had a location. No, I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. Can someone come verify that? Because y'all know y'all come in here and start saying stuff. I believe Slutty Vegan started in New York. I think. But I could be wrong. I'm not saying. But can someone verify that? Just saying. Exactly. Miss Alex says, no full-time needed. She's eating girls up as a friend of. I think this is perfect. If anything, Cynthia, because I know you ought. Cynthia, when you go back to the negotiation table, you should be getting at least a good amount. You should be doing better than any other friend of. Okay? Honestly, I don't know how much she's getting for friend of, so I don't want to, lowball the number. But make sure you need more, Cynthia. I wouldn't be surprised, though, this season that they're giving her more in regards to money, but also probably, we already see that they're having her carry more than she did last season, which honestly, she's carrying very well, which it's a credit to her being a seasoned housewife, a veteran of this show. She understands what needs to be done. And even went to throw a little shade, because y'all saw what happened between her and what's her name? Shamea. Okay, that girls club. Okay, I thought I was going crazy. All right. That girls club says that's true. Slutty Vegan started in New York City. I don't know, y'all. At this particular point. Okay. All right. Let's move on, y'all. So we don't get bogged down with the details of things that are not important to the episode. Okay. Oh, okay. TT. All right. So maybe that's what I'm thinking. TT says Pinky started in New York City with her juice bar, then Slutty Vegan. Okay. Oh, wait a second. Chef Lorraine says Pinky Cole's mom was the lead singer of Stryker's Posse. Thank you so much, Chef. Okay. Now y'all getting the information. All right. Let's move on. So Cynthia is hosting the ladies. We get to meet Cynthia's man for the very first time. What'd you guys think of Cynthia's man? He seemed very nice, very sweet. All right. I don't know if I would trust Portia around my man, but anyway. Look, I was just saying, because I always I'm triggered. Flashback to the whole Fallon of it all. Just say. But all right. Noda Queen says, Wikipedia says it was founded in Atlanta in 2018. So it must have been, I thought that she started in New York and then she opened Slutty Vegan in Atlanta. All right. Thank you so much, y'all. Slutty Vegan started in Atlanta in 2018, New York City in 2022. All right. Let's settle it. Done. All right. Who's boring? Coco? Coco says, I'm sorry, she's boring. Can y'all use actual names? Because sometimes if I save your comment and I come back to it later, then I'm like, who are you talking about? Let's use people's names so I know what you're referring to. All right. Cynthia. Oh, Coco says Cynthia. Beautiful new photo, Coco. Beautiful smile. No, Cynthia is a good friend of, okay? All right, let's focus, y'all. Moving on. So we get to meet Prince, her man, and they've been dating for about 2 years. Prince says, hell yes, that he is in love with Cynthia. He's meeting all the women. He meets Portia. and Alex says, child, Cynthia man is safe. Oh, well, damn. All right. A mystery says, YouTube notifications suck. Turn them off, turn them back on. I understand. But if you're following me on if you're following me on X, I do usually post before the live that I'm going live. So then there is that. All right. GC says Coco's gorgeous. See, Coco? I wasn't lying to you. All right. Moving on. In my opinion, Blessing says, I love 50 Cent. Amara says Cynthia isn't boring. Cynthia's bringing it this season. Ashley says Cynthia's not boring. She is normal. She's a balance. I think people always equate her to being boring because she's not turning up like everyone else. But no. There's a reason why people say this person's the Cynthia of the group. You need that person in the group. But all right, we've digressed. Can we focus so I can get through this recap? All right, now we just dissecting Cynthia boring and da-da-da. Like, oh my gosh, can we focus today, y'all? Stacey says, I love Cynthia. All right, and Cynthia's going to be 60. Next year, she's going to be 60? All right. That's pretty damn good. For 60? Lord. All right, because remember when you watched The Golden Girls? A lot of those women... the women that we see today, like in their 50s and 60s, that's the age that they were playing on The Golden Girls. I'm just saying, that's not your everyday 50s and 60s anymore. All right. So all the ladies are okay. I just want to say this to Angela. Angela, that color hair is perfect for you. Maybe if you want to play around with color, maybe some brown highlights, some blonde highlights. That's it. The blonde, I don't love that on you. Or maybe it's whoever did your makeup that day. But you looked great with the black hair. The body was body yada yada yadaing. I like that color on you. I thought that Angela looked great. All right. So Phaedra arrives after Drew. And Phaedra says, if Drew's there before me, then she's really late. Okay. She said, this must have started yesterday. All right. I mean, yeah. If you are very late. Okay. So Portia gives an update on her talk with K. Michelle. And she says all is good, but then she says the situation with Drew, not so good. Like the plot and the scheme is still ongoing. Angela updates the group on the conversation that she had with I keep forgetting Shamea's name today. Oh, Shamea. Y'all notice that? Like today I can't remember Shamea's name. Shamesi, that's what I'm gonna call her. That way I won't forget it. So Angela updates them on the conversation that she had. And that was still an iconic conversation. If you missed it, we talked all about it. We even played a clip from it last week here during our recap. All right. So Angela reveals that Shamea was talking about her husband, saying that he's always outside. And he's like, oh yeah, when he's outside, he said he sees you outside. And this is where Portia excuses herself. Portia gets up and she's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Which I can appreciate. Portia is not trying to be messy. Portia could sit there and listen and instigate the situation. Portia is trying not to instigate the situation. Okay? So she's like, I'm going to get up and excuse myself. All right? Plead the fifth. Because Portia's like, if I make a facial expression, if I say the wrong thing, it's going to cause an issue. Very similar to what we've seen with Shamesi. Because I've said to you, I was like, pay attention to Shemesi's face when they're talking about Portia. It's sort of like she also doesn't want to say or get involved or say anything. So I don't know what happens during the group trip this year that leads to, I think it's been brewing. And for Shamesi to say it has something to do with the other women instigating it, no, it doesn't. You guys have had an undercurrent of something for years that you guys have never dealt with. This goes all the way back to what was it, season 9, when she was at the reunion, and there was that divide between her because she was becoming friends with Phaedra. So the division has been there a long time. But even beyond that, we've unpacked that many times. So Angela reveals that Shamea, she was talking about Charles being outside, and she said Charles sees her outside. Portia excuses herself. Angela says that Shamea is screwing the Hawks and the Falcon players. And look, that's a messy thing to say, especially when someone's married, coming from another married woman. And in the confessional, literally, Angela's like, I don't want to, because they ask her, does she believe it? Does she have proof? She doesn't have proof about that, but she heard it from someone and she believes the person. But for me, it's Angela's delivery. Angela is such a great housewife. Her delivery in the confessional when they ask her if she believes it, she's just like, yes. It was the way, I can't even mimic it. It was the way that she said it that made me go, you know what, Angela? Let me play that again. let me rewind that moment again. Because I was like, that was her delivery in that moment was great for the confessional. She was like, I don't want to talk about that lady's marriage, but yes, I do believe that the rumors are true. And look, these rumors have dated all the way back to season 9, maybe even before season 9, about Shamea. Look, again, Shamea, you wanted to come on this show despite having the husband, despite having the children, despite having it all. You decided to come on this show, and now you know how this show goes. They're going to bring up stuff. And now Angela has brought this up. All right. Do you guys believe the rumors? Do you believe the rumors at all? Okay. I can't even pronounce your name. Asia, I think you pronounce it, says Angela's lying. I mean, she's going to be confronted. People are going to want to know more details at the reunion. You can't really just spit these things out and not bring some sort of solid information, Angela. That's one thing I will say. You better have some receipts. I saw Andy did post that the reunion's about to be filmed and he's asking for your questions. I can't ask him questions because I'm blocked. Okay. It's okay. It's all right. I wasn't going to ask a question anyway. All right. But what questions would you ask? Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to like today's video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Our friends over at Hulu are sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud and revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV. Every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. Y'all know I love me some Hulu. There's so many shows that I watch on Hulu. So if you're not subscribed to Hulu, go subscribe today. All right. So back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. All right. So back to the scene at Lake Bailey. So Angela says that Shamea sends a text message. So Cynthia's like, oh, hold on, y'all. I got a text message. So Cynthia gets a text message from Shamesi, and she's inviting her to Gerald's surprise birthday party, and it's a themed party. So she wants to, wear your best African garb. All right, but the party is the next day, and it's 8:00 at night. Cynthia's like, how is she inviting us to a party that is tomorrow and it's 8:00 at night? Okay. Well, what is like why, huh? And apparently she also invited Phaedra. She didn't invite Portia, but Portia knew about the party because Shamea invited Dennis. Drew is confused. She's like, the way that she was dragging me and Dennis. Okay. All right. So Angela said, oh, she wants a hit. She gave Dennis gave you a hit, so she now wants a hit. Lord, I see Dennis is going to be on next week. Dennis, you couldn't clean up for filming? Like, what's going on? All right. Jesse says, I just got a text. She's doing the friend of job. The friend of got the text. Here's my thing with Shamea, because she does later on say that she sent the text the last minute because it's a surprise and people will invite, people will reach out to the birthday person. Why would Cynthia reach out to Gerald? Why would Phaedra reach out to Gerald? That didn't make any sense to me. And maybe this event wasn't going to be filmed, and maybe last minute Gerald decided, yes, we'll film it. It's very clear when you see the birthday party, Gerald does not like filming. He seems so uncomfortable with filming, and I don't blame him. Shamesi, are you willing to risk your marriage to be on reality television? Because there's no way in hell, if my partner is uncomfortable with filming, would I continue to film. even if they say, it's okay. No, I know this is something important to you. The body language, him not showing up to film, tells me the actions speak louder than the words. And I don't even believe that Gerald is saying to you that he wants to film or that he will film for you. I don't believe that's what's happening. I believe he said to you, like, I am not comfortable filming. I won't be filming. And you continue to film anyway. Okay. This is where I lose respect for you. Not only are you a bad housewife, meaning a bad reality TV star, not the literal housewife, bad reality TV person, you also have no manners. You have no manner. Like, how are you inviting people to a themed party and it's the next day? So all they have literally is the next day to figure out what they're going to wear. I mean, they did deliver it. Should Portia be upset that she wasn't invited? I mean, it's a filmed event. Portia invited Shamea to her home. I mean, I guess it would be awkward because I'm sure Shamea's mother would be there. It would probably be awkward for Portia. And probably Portia's like relieved. She's like, oh God, her mom's probably be there. It's going to be awkward. So that might be the motivation behind not inviting Portia. But she invited you to her home from that, I don't know. I just was like, all right. But I still feel like the timing of inviting these people the night before, it's interesting. And I'm sure she'll probably be on social media to give us an explanation why she invited. But her explanation in the confessional was the fact that she was concerned that she gave too much notice, even though she gave Dennis a week. And that's what Portia revealed. She's like, oh, Dennis knew about this about a week ago. Oh, Dennis knows? You dragged Dennis? But now all of a sudden you're inviting Dennis to the birthday party? But maybe Dennis has a relationship with Gerald. Fine. But you told him a week before. And Dennis is good for it, spilling tea. So he'd probably be the person I would invite the night before. But he didn't even go. He wasn't even there. All right. Then we get this scene. We get the scene with K. Michelle FaceTiming with her son. Where was Dr. Caston? I'm just saying, like, Dr. Caston, when it comes time to show up, I guess she tells him we gotta show up to today because he wasn't at the house. Okay, so she FaceTimes with her son. She's boasting about her son as she should. She's like, everything that I've gone through, I've done it so that my son could be successful. She's talking about him, getting his master's. He's in DC. He's doing very well for himself. All right. And she says, like, her son is the only one that can read her down. No, apparently Drew can too. She said her son's the only one that can read her down. No, Drew can too. The way that you ran in that last scene told us that Drew intimidates you for whatever reason. I can't wait for this reunion. This is actually going to be a good reunion. All right. All right. Moving on from there. So she then talks about, because he's talking about, hanging out and things like that. And so she talked about, I know better than anyone who would be good for you, my son. I don't want you to end up with a gutter snipe. Here's the thing. Here's what I thought. I feel sorry for whatever woman that ends up dating her son or getting married to her son, because she's going to be that mother-in-law that, very much like what she's doing on reality television, she's going to do that in real life. She's going to do that in real life. She's like, oh, I don't like her. Like, she's going to be that type of mother. I can guarantee you this. She is going to be a problem for that daughter-in-law. She is going to be a problem. And I wish her son the best. And I wish whatever girl or woman that gets involved with him the best. Because she's going to be that mother-in-law that's going to be making up stories about the girl. She's going to be causing issues with the girl. She's going to be arguing with the girl. I already feel like this is what's going to happen. Anyone else? I literally was watching that scene and I said, I actually feel for her son's future wife, because K. Michelle, just based off of K. Michelle's history and now what we're seeing now, I already know that that's going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem. And she will monetize it and probably put it on reality television maybe 5 years from now. Because that's the, when we talk about stars that have come from reality television and elevated, K. Michelle was in that conversation, but K. Michelle always comes back to reality television. And I understand why. She comes back to reality television because it pays the bills. Music and the music industry right now is not what it was years ago. It doesn't pay the bills. Unless you're like a Rihanna or a Beyonce, you got to make millions in streaming. It takes a lot to make money from that. That's why she continues to tour. That's why she continues to do her R&B music, because that is what pays the bills. And this is why she keeps coming back to reality television. Look, it's a smart thing because you got to pay your bills. So I could see her coming back to reality television. What Cardi B has been able to do, she can leave reality television behind. She can get actual big brand deals and tours and things like that outside of reality television. And I can see that, or Adele, exactly. Like you have to have big streaming numbers. And look, that is a sign of the times, that is the industry that we're in now. And I get it. You got to pay your bills. You got things to do. But I can definitely see her coming back to reality television. I don't see her lasting on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm not saying that she won't come back next season, but I don't think she will last. I definitely don't think she will last. If you can't argue with Drew and you are a veteran of reality television, I know this is not Love and Hip Hop, but you are still a veteran at reality television. You are getting up. And look, I already know she's going to go on social media and spin it like, I'm trying to save myself from the old K. Michelle coming out. That's what she's going to say. She's going to be like, I'm trying not to be the old K. Michelle, so that's why I got up and left. Really? At your big age, you can't control yourself. You're so intelligent because you say, you were Miss Florida A&M. You got into 3 law schools. Fantastic. Then you should be very verbose. You can't handle Drew. Drew handled you effortlessly. Drew handled you. She's just like, I don't do well with, parts of sentences, punctuation. I was like, all right, Drew, we see you. Right? FK says, yeah, to be intimidated by Drew. I mean, now they should be. They really should be. All right, let's get to Gerald's party. So Gerald's birthday party looked fantastic. The food looked great. Everyone looked great. The only people that were there were Kelly, Phaedra, Cynthia, and K. Michelle. Pinky was busy, with a TED Talk or something like that. She was busy. She got a lot of things going on. She didn't invite Portia. Drew, of course, would not be invited either. Who else? I don't know. Look, anyway, Kelly was lit. Kelly was so drunk. You saw when she tried to make a speech to Gerald. Gerald was just like this. He looked uncomfortable. First of all, he already looks uncomfortable on camera, but he sitting there listening to the speech from Kelly, just like, guys, you are the couple that I, look up to. Gerald's brother is handsome. And for those of you that want, and Angela, you started this. For those that want to say that Gerald's not the best looking, Gerald is actually a good looking man. Y'all need to stop with that. And his brother's good looking too, Michael. Just saying. Both good looking. Beautiful speech that he made for Gerald. I thought that was a beautiful speech. He got emotional. All right. So Shamea tells Cynthia, everybody got invited last minute because she feared that people would text Gerald. Cynthia would have texted Gerald. Phaedra would have texted Gerald. Come on. I think that was just a lame excuse. I think she just had to come up with some sort of excuse. Maybe she didn't plan to film it. Maybe she didn't plan to invite them. I don't know. But it was very last minute. And I think that was incredibly rude and no home training. But are we surprised? This is the same cringy behavior that we've been talking about. And there was a lot of cringy moments. Kelly, drunk, lit. Look lit. Deshaun says, Gerald's handsome. Pochette says, no, he not. Wow. Joyce says, stop lying, Kempire. Really? Lily says, stop. Oh, okay. Superstar 7 says that Gerald does not know or like Kelly. Damn. She was drunk though. She was so drunk. I cringed. Like they're already cringy together, Kelly and Shamea. But I cringed watching this this drunken, because it was so obvious that she was drunk. Her eyes hung low like this, And she's like, when did you start drinking? We have to remember these things are filmed for hours and then they cut them together. So maybe she didn't come in drunk, but it's also significant to talk about what Kelly's going through, because during this time, remember, she's going through her ex-husband doing press conferences with banners and things like that. He's fighting her in court and things like that. So she is going through a lot. And I tell you about you Pisces, you got to be careful with the drink. You got to be careful with the substances, because as Pisces, you guys like a drink. All right. Just saying. So Kelly gets emotional. She says, I look up to you guys. You guys are couples goals. And K. Michelle, here's the thing. For K. Michelle to be friends with Shamea and Kelly, y'all should be mad at her, because the way she painted the picture in her confessional, she tried to clean it up at the end, but she was the first one in a confessional. No one else in their confessionals that we know of said anything about Kelly and her being involved in Shamea and Gerald's relationship. It was K. Michelle insinuating that something might be going on. And the more that Kelly spoke about Shamea and, you know, like, oh, Shamea's butt's real, because they end up talking about what happened between Angela and Shamea. It was such an awkward moment, because everyone's just like, especially Shamea's face. Shamea's looked like she was worried at what Kelly was about to say. Her face was like, because she was talking about, you know, oh, I felt it. When did you feel it? Look, when did you feel it? And then at one particular point, Shamea, of course, screaming and twerking, gets up twerking, and Kelly is grabbing on it. But in K. Michelle's confessional, K. Michelle's like, you know, these girls in Atlanta, everyone's, you know, getting in with each other. And then she tries to clean up. She's like, but I want some too. Huh? The way that you were talking about it, it was definitely not giving that you wanted some too. I think she was trying to clean it up, because these are supposed to be her friends. These are supposed to be her clique. This is supposed to be her alliance. But I was just like, you were being shady in the beginning, and you're the one who put it out there. There might be something going on between Kelly, Shamea, and Gerald. Anyway, so Phaedra is just sort of like, oh, guys, we need to get everyone together at some particular point. And Kelly's just like, is there going to be a man there? And Phaedra's like, I thought you had Jarvis. Phaedra, her confession is just like, maybe with all that drinking, she forgot. She got Jarvis. Did y'all even pay attention to Kelly? I was paying attention to Kelly, because Kelly at one particular point, first of all, Cynthia's look for this birthday party, fantastic. She got the big fro. Kelly is so drunk that she's sniffing. She's sniffing Cynthia's wig. She's like, I'm just like, oh, this woman is lit. Lit. I was like, all right. Oh, Richie, you must be new here. Richie says, what's being a Pisces got to do with anything? You a Pisces, Richie? You might be new here. We talked about how Pisces. I even explained it just now. So what part of that didn't you understand? Don't let me do you like I do, like Drew did K. Michelle. We're not speaking in pieces of sentences over here. All right. Oh, Cynthia says, I just don't believe, not the Cynthia, Cynthia June says that I just don't believe that married women carry on like Shamea. I mean, look, not every married woman asked the same. Okay? He just says, not sniffing, just as she was. Go back. She was like sniffing her wig. She was so lit. She was lit. All right? All right. Go back and rewatch the scene, Ariel. She's like, she was so drunk. And she admits it in her confession. She's like, I don't even remember giving a speech, Kelly said. All right. DH, you're right. DH says, I think Kelly was past the lid. She definitely was. She was definitely. Exactly. Jesse says, water signs drink. Here's the thing, but specifically Pisces, they have to be careful. All right. Sorry, y'all. All right. Guys, you're just joining us. Don't forget to like today's video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Don't forget, you can also hear our live recaps on the Kempire podcast as well. Speaking of, don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show is happening. I can't believe we've been talking for 40 something minutes. And I didn't remind you guys that the live show is happening in New York City on September 25th at the Green Room 42. So go get your tickets today. As I said before, there is a live stream option. So no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to watch this live show. And for those that keep saying, Kemper, you said you weren't going to do it. I said, and can someone confirm in the chat? I said I wasn't touring this year. I said there might be another New York show though. I literally said, and I said it at the live show. Okay. Oh, Dad, Egypt says, yes, us water signs, all it takes is 4 drinks and we lit. Amar says water signs don't drink. Girl, we had so many examples of Pisces. Okay. Hold on. Miss Unpopular Opinion says, I'm a Pisces. It's not that we like to drink. We need to not feel. Oh, damn. Hold on. Miss Unpopular Opinion says, I'm a Pisces. It's not that we like to drink. We need to not feel sometimes. It's exhausting. That's a perfect way of saying it. I maybe me saying you guys like to drink. You're prone to drink. I should say it that way. And you have to be careful. But damn, is that what it is? I mean, you are a water sign, so you guys do feel. All right. Okay. All right, let's move on, y'all. Let's continue with this Gerald's party. So Shamea recalls her conversation with Angela, and she starts talking about how Angela is this big woman with big feet and things like that. So Cynthia, who's a tall, and it's just like, as someone that's a part of the Bigfoot community, can we not do that? I believe Cynthia, as a great veteran, as a great friend of, is trying to help Shamea here because she already knows this is not going to land well when the rest of the world sees it. She probably also is just like, girl, you talking about her? Angela's about my size. If not, I might be bigger than Angela. And a lot of people are saying, Shamea, you're not that much smaller than Angela. But she feels like this is the way she wants to go because Shamea doesn't have the brain capacity to go any deeper than that. She's not a great housewife when it comes to being witty. We talked about this when she did the Shade Room interview. She's not good at that, which again, not every housewife is. All right. So Cynthia's just like, as a part of the Bigfoot community, can you stop calling Angela Bigfoot? Because she's, I'm a member. Okay. So Shamea says, Cynthia, you don't trip over your feet. I didn't understand why Cynthia was bothered unless something else was said. But Cynthia's reaction, I was like, well, Cynthia, you just said that you were a part of the Bigfoot community. I don't understand why you're bothered by her doubling down on what you said about yourself. I didn't understand why she was like, well, child, I'm in your house, so I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not going to disrespect you. All right. Let me, guys, as I said to you before, we might get interrupted. So I'm going to play an ad from our friends over at Baskin Lather, and I'll be BRB. It's been over a month since I started using Baskin Lather. Not on my head, on my beard, of course. You guys have been complimenting me on the difference in my beard, but what I've also loved is hearing your personal stories with Baskin Lather and how it's helped you with dryness, with your alopecia, whatever it may be. And I want to keep hearing your stories, so feel free to share them in the comments. But what I also love is that they have something for everyone. So if you are a guy with some hair, they have something for you. If you're a woman with hair, they have something for you. Nourish and hydrate from the inside out with 100% natural ingredients. A nourishing hair balm for curly or kinky hair that helps reduce hair breakage and adds shine. When used regularly, users have seen results in about 3 months. Made with ingredients that can penetrate hair strands without clogging pores, non-greasy formulation with no petroleum or lanolin. Keep any hair type soft, shiny, and hydrated. Combines aloe vera and avocado oil to reduce frizz, treat dryness, detangle, and redefine curls. Can be used in combination with other products for customized routine. And as always, I love supporting a Black-owned business. The CEO's younger sister was misdiagnosed by a dermatologist, and that inspired the company to take things into their own hands. And they've made not just a difference in their own lives, but so many other lives since. But of course, I know you've been waiting to hear about a discount. We've got you covered. Explore viral bestsellers and products of healthier hair of all types from Baskin Lather. Go to baskinlatherco.com and use code Kempire for 20% off. That's 20% off at baskinlatherco.com, code Kempire. More information on Baskin Lather will be available in the description. Thanks, Baskin Lather. And we're back. Shout out to Baskin Lather. Shout out to all of you that have been trying Baskin Lather. And, you know, I've been using the beard stuff. So shout out to all of you that have been trying it and purchasing it. And shout out to them. You know, we love to support any Black-owned businesses here on the channel. So I love when they come across my desk. I'm like, yes. And especially something I can try. So there are things for you. It's Father's Day is right around the corner, y'all. So go do it. Go get something for your husband. The beard oils and things like that. And if he has a good head of hair, even better. You know what I mean? Look at Jay-Z. Look, that's a whole other conversation about Jay-Z. Can you guys hear me, see me? I'm like, I ran back. I had to run back. All right, back to this, guys. If you're just joining us, this is our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Be sure to like today's video. We're almost already at 700 likes. Let me say thank you because we had quite a few super chats as well. And we appreciate the super chats, guys, but we also appreciate the likes. It's free. Like the video. We have over 2,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. Shout out to those of you that are watching on Twitch, those of you watching on Facebook, those of you watching on X. I'm not even looking over at my X fam. Hold on, X fam. Hey, y'all. What's going on, Jacqueline? Jacqueline's watching there on X. T-Props is watching there on X as well. Okay. All right. Let me see what the super chats are saying. Noda Queen, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Noda Queen says, Ishelle Cole is a musician in the reggae group Strikers Posse. Well, thank you. Someone else said that earlier today. I'm surprised we didn't look that up before. I'm not familiar with that particular group. Maybe I know the music and I just don't know the name off the top, but D the Stallion, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. D the Stallion says, Kay is a swinger. Every time I see her, I think of her song Birthday. That explains it all. Well, she did say that she was open to watching Dr. Caston with other people. She did say that. But okay. Look, all right. All right. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed the super chat. Hold on. Noda Queen, thank you for another super chat. Noda Queen says, I think this party was a way to get him on camera. If your man doesn't want to be on camera, why would you continue to do that? Right? What, like, again, and you know what it is? Here's the thing. Let's talk spiritually. Let's talk spiritually. I think that's why it's not working out for Shamea. I think because she's fighting against like her foundation, her family, what she wants there. She's like, she wants the family, she wants the husband, she wants the lifestyle. But she also wants to be a star. She wants this reality stuff. And I think they're fighting against each other. And that's why it's not working. It's not working for her. Because so many people have said as a friend of, they loved her as a friend of. But now as this full-time housewife, now that the microscope is on her, it's sort of like, it's not landing. And I think that's what's happening. She's fighting against something that just isn't natural. Miss V, thank you so much for the super chat. Miss V says, are we giving Dr. Caston a pass for his... Miss V, I was trying to be nice today. Look, I really leave him alone. I leave him alone because y'all drag him enough on those streets. See, K. Michelle, I give you grace. Because the streets drag Dr. Caston. The comment section here, the live chat, they drag him. I give him grace. I was like, you know what? He doesn't say much, so I just leave him alone. I leave him alone. Like Gerald, I leave him alone. All right. Miss V Thomas says, are we giving Dr. Caston a pass for his outfit today since Shamea gave last minute invites? Because I was like, what is this? He had a sash. That's all he had. He came, she said, you need to come and show up for this event. And she gave him she couldn't even get him a dashiki. And I mean, it was a last minute invite, but I don't think that it was a last minute invite for K. Michelle. What do you guys think? Tanya says, we will drag. Nikki, come on now. I don't want to say this comment. No, she says, I'm a Pisces and I am the alcoholic. No, I am concerned for you. Please. Exactly. Gita Stallion says, Dr. Caston with his scarf. I mean, that's all it gave. There's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can do to explain. Look, Egypt says, what was he wearing? I barely noticed the man. I noticed enough. There was nothing else. It was like a black outfit, which it wouldn't be bad, but maybe he could have got a dashiki, something. Like, this is a great time to really embrace our roots. You know what I mean? But maybe, the girl's clothes says, a kente cloth sash. It wasn't even like adorned. It was just sort of like hanging around his neck, which was worse. I feel like that's so disrespectful too, to someone's themed birthday party, especially someone that is actually African. It's a little disrespectful, but I don't know if they take it as disrespect. So the girls' club says a kente cloth sash, no haircut, and dusty jeans. K. Michelle said, any man is better than no man. Oh my gosh. Shadrika, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Shadrika says, handsome is subjective. Why y'all doing this to me? Okay. You're right though. What I might find handsome, you guys might not find handsome. All right. Just saying. Handsome is subjective. What's the bank account of the brother? I'll tell you if he good looking or not. Shadrika, I wonder if he works in their business, because if he works in his brother's business, then he's probably loaded too. Is he single? But I'm sure the connector's already working on it. I was listening to the accent, but I was like, oh wait, Jarvis doesn't have an accent. So he's probably married. Shadrika, you're terrible. I didn't see the dusty jeans. I saw the, just regular clothes and the kente cloth sash, and I was like, okay. Winter said the brother is fine. The brother was good looking. So I'm just saying. But then I looked at Gerald and I was like, Gerald looks like him too. He looks a little bit different. But anyway, we're not going to get into this conversation. You can feel the way that you feel. I feel the way that I feel. Okay. All right. Patricia says he is easy on the eyes. Oh, see? Okay, Sharjah says, for me, handsome goes with classy. Desiree says, the brother was kind of fine. All right, see? Okay, all right. Let's move on from there. What else happened at this birthday party? So Cynthia gets offended. Were y'all surprised? Were y'all surprised that that Cynthia got offended after calling herself Bigfoot? But I feel like something else was said. Again, we have to always remind ourselves that we're watching an edited show, or she probably just didn't like the fact that Shamea agreed with her being Bigfoot. And then the editors played footage of Angela walking, and they put the sound effects on it. OMG. Not in this Pride Month, because we know what that is alluding to when people make these or associate certain things like this to women. We're not going to do that. Speaking of Pride Month, guys, don't forget we are raising money here Pride Month for the Kempire's Pride Month fundraiser for the LGBT Center here in New York City. We've been raising money for them for the last few years. Last year, we broke a record with over $6,000. Our goal this year is $10,000. We're almost at $1,000 this week. Our goal was $2,500, but I know we can do it. So shout out to those of you that have donated already or have shared our videos for other people to donate. Please be reminded that 100% of your donation goes to the organization, thanks to YouTube giving. All right? Shout out to Butter. I did my Butter skincare routine. All right? This is all brought to you by our friends over at Butter. They're not sponsoring today, but okay, the beard is brought to you by our friends over at Baskin Lather. Okay. All right, I use that shampoo and conditioner every night. Okay, every night. All right, moving on. What else was said? So Shamea says that Kelly then talks about Shamea's butt and says, "Oh, I touched the butt," because she brings up what Angela said about her butt being fake, and then she's like, "Oh, but her butt is nice and soft," and then it gets so awkward in that moment because Shamea, everyone else is just like, "What is going on? What is going on? Like, you touched her butt?" Everyone's just like, "Huh?" Like, wait, huh? Wait, you did what? And she's like, "It's nice and soft," and Shamea's just like, y'all not beating these allegations, because I was like, what is going on? Exactly. Winter says, shading a woman for being tall is almost like calling her a man. not in this Pride Month. And you saw they were already trying to drag Shamea for saying Happy Pride to Portia. All right, let's move on from there, guys, because I know y'all gonna get me for this one, but it's okay. This is my recap. All right. So we have this scene with Portia and Giselle. We didn't know that this was happening. We already know Portia and Giselle. They've been friends for a while now. They did this show during the pandemic, The Chat Room. They've done Ultimate Girls Trip together. They just did Ultimate Girls Trip as well again. All right. So Giselle meets up with Portia. She was apparently in town filming Beyond the Gates, but doesn't her daughter goes to Spelman, right? So that's another reason for her to be in Atlanta as well. Where's her other daughter go to school? I know her oldest, Grace, goes to Florida. I know one goes to Spelman. Where's the other school that the other daughter goes to? Anyway, so Giselle meets up with Portia. Portia says that she's getting an update on what's been going on with her in regards to her divorce. The last time they saw each other was it was in New York City, and oh yes. Thank you, Makai. Her other daughter goes to Giselle's alma mater, Hampton University. I forgot. Look at that. I mean, there's so many things we could say about Giselle or Giselle, but she's done a good job with those girls. She's definitely done a good job with those girls. They're in college. They're doing well for themselves. Shout out to everyone. I'm starting to see all it. See, I love it when y'all come in here and y'all think y'all so right. It's a different HU, Kitty. It's not Howard. It's Hampton. It's Hampton University. It's the other HU. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. All right. Moving on. Let me take a sip. Let me see. Myra says the other one is at her alma mater, Hampton, and the other one's at Spelman, and the other one's at FAMU. All black colleges. So I love it. Historically black colleges and universities. Okay. Fives of Wisdom says a darn good job. Just saying. Okay. Let's focus, y'all. So Portia and Giselle meet up for a lunch. Cute little lunch, a cute little kiki. And I said to myself watching this scene that I wouldn't mind seeing like a crappy lake. You know what they did with Sonia and Countess Luann? I wouldn't mind seeing a version of that with these two, because I think they would be a kiki and fun. Also, I want to see the unedited director's cut version. Okay. I want to see that version of that conversation, because you know Giselle is messy as hell. So I know more was said. So Giselle has these bullet points. We find out that in order for Portia to settle her divorce, she was in court for like 15 hours trying to figure out her divorce, but they finalized it. I didn't realize she was in there for that long. So apparently Giselle actually is rooting for Shamea and Portia to mend their relationship. So she brings that up. She says, like, I really would like for you guys to mend this relationship. Portia isn't interested in reconciling with Shamea. So production asks, how does Portia feel about not being invited to Gerald's birthday party? And she's like, it's fine. That's her home. Which is interesting, because Shamea was invited to Portia's home. But okay. But maybe because Portia's mom wasn't there? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think Portia should have been invited? I mean, again, it's her home. She doesn't have to invite everyone. But it feels like if you guys are okay, why wouldn't you invite Portia? Especially because it's being filmed. But okay. So Portia says she doesn't feel any way about it. And it looks like Portia is not interested in reconciling with Shamea. Based on what we saw last season, y'all, it doesn't really make sense for me for these two to have ended their friendship, at least when it comes to the audience. The audience has not seen everything. So I think for the audience, it comes across like, I don't understand how 30 years of friendship ended up here. And again, it's because of the mothers of it all situation, and that's gonna come up again later this season. I don't understand why we weren't able to mend fences. And I think it's because there's large parts of the story that the audience doesn't understand and doesn't know. And part of me sort of like, then what was the point of bringing Shamea back? I just don't understand it. But okay. And again, you remember Shamea at the top of the season said that they went, there was a big text exchange and she mimed what was said and we didn't get anything from that. So it just feels a little like I really don't care now. If you guys are not going to talk about it, I really don't care. All right. Egypt says she was not obligated to invite Portia. Winter says that Portia tolerated Shamea. They weren't really friends. Ooh. Toya says, I think so too, Kempire. D says, in my opinion, Shamea is a messy snake. A lot of people don't want to believe that. Well, D, here's the thing. I watched the clip from that reunion recently, and we can't forget the element here. And I'm not saying that Portia is innocent or the best friend either, but although Shamea likes to say that the other women are the reason for the downfall of their friendship, I believe that Portia also said that she heard from other people that are not on this cast saying the same exact thing that Shamea was talking about her to them. And then I was reminded about that scene with Britt Edie saying like, oh yeah, she showed me your personal text messages. Okay. So I don't know. Lyric SoFi says that Portia is the snake. Here's the thing. I think both of them could be the snake. And you know what happens when snakes play together? Just say someone's bound to get hurt because I think they are cut from the same cloth. I don't think Shamea is innocent, and I don't think that Portia is innocent either. But you have your people that are fans of each one, and they're like, oh no, Portia's the reason for it. I think both of them. Coco says birds of a feather. Yeah. All right. Miss Alex says, I think both parties played a big role in the demise of the friend. See, I agree with this. I do believe that they both played a role. And I think some of that has to do with what they don't talk about on the show. It's about the show. It's about the show. All right. Brielle, Brielle, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. Brielle says, I just wish he would get a skin routine and haircut. He might look a little better. Not a little better. Yeesh. I told you guys to use names, but I already know who she's talking about. Bree, I know who you're talking about, so I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Cozy Comfort ASMR, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, Odd Kelly didn't remember she had a man, but then again, Jarvis is an AI character in Iron Man, so that might be telling. His voice also don't sound real. Y'all really don't believe that Kelly's man is real? I know people joked about that, but do y'all think that it's an AI character? I mean, AI can do a lot nowadays. Do y'all... Wait, don't they have that thing where you can basically have like an AI friend? Oh, damn. Don't they have that nowadays? Where you can have like AI be your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Leave it alone. All right. So Giselle is an advocate for Portia and Shamea fixing things. Portia says she really isn't interested in that. She says that she personally doesn't need to not invite Shamea to things or shun Shamea. So she maybe she does feel a way about not being invited, but she's just like, I'm not going to do that because Portia understands the assignment when it comes to producing reality television. So she's not going to do that. She's not going to be a speed bump in what production needs to get done. This is why production in the network likes her. They want someone that is going to work with them and be a producer's pet. I'm not saying that she is, but all right. All right, y'all fighting about Jarvis being AI? I'm gonna leave that alone. All right, so Pinky has her Edgewood auditions for her scripted series, and Shamea is auditioning for it. Drew shows up. She sees the line. She's like, I'm not waiting in line. She goes inside and she sees Shamea's there. Do you guys think that Drew decided not to audition after she saw Shamea there, or was she really had no plans of ever auditioning? I don't know. I could see both. As soon as she saw I don't think she had any plans of auditioning. I think she just showed up because it was a filmed scene. Because if she really planned on auditioning, then maybe we would have seen a script. Unless the script was in that beautiful Gucci bag. Did y'all see that beautiful? And I'm not a bagnista like that. But that bag that she had, first of all, did y'all see that picture? If you follow me on X, you saw that picture of Drew. Drew got a new body. And look, she's talking about, she's promoting it. She got her body done. She said she's still a little swollen. She looks good, but then when I first saw the picture, I thought it was Portia because of the hair marcation that she had, the hair color, and the body. I was like, oh, damn, I thought that was Portia. But okay, all the girls in Atlanta are starting to look the same. All right. So Drew comes in and Shamea's running through her lines, and Shamea offers Drew, the sides. You're like, do you want to read the sides? The script and stuff. And Drew's response was so perfect for Housewives. I think in real life we were like, oh my gosh, like Drew. But for Housewives, it was perfect because she was just like, no. Shamea was like, oh, all right. So she does offer to read lines with Shamea. And Shamea's just like, no. Shamea, you should have taken it because no matter what you guys, everyone wants to downplay Drew's career, but she has been acting since she was 8 years old. She's been in the business a long time. So we're not going to downplay it over here. If another actress at season wants to run lines with you, this would be a perfect opportunity. All right. So Shamea, after Shamea, offers to give her the sides, Drew laughs and this is like, no. All right. So Drew says that there's a protocol. She has a manager. She has an agent. There's a protocol. And apparently Pinky did not follow this protocol. So Drew says she wasn't planning on auditioning. She goes in to say hello to Pinky. She knows Notori. She says hello to Notori. Notori's just like, you can be comfortable. I know this is very last minute. And Drew's is like, oh, I wasn't auditioning. It almost seemed like she was offended that she would even have to audition. But like I said before, I think Drew doesn't believe that she's above auditioning. She believes that she's above auditioning for Pinky. And in all fairness, I get why. Because Pinky, yes, I know she was a producer on The Maury Show and she used to be a casting director on reality television. But that's different than producing scripted television. So I can understand why she's like, unless you have a role for me. Because I don't believe Drew had to audition for Candy's project. And at that particular point, Candy had already produced multiple scripted things. You know what I mean? So I don't believe that she had to audition for Candy's movie. So am I wrong about that? No, I believe she didn't have to audition for that. Candy saw this role and thought that it'd be a good role for her. But maybe she was more than willing to audition for Candy. I don't know. Let me take a sip. Deja says that Drew was not genuine. About what? About helping her? Tools for Life says, I like Drew's sarcasm. It's warranted in this group. Okay, Miss Alex says, no, she didn't audition for Candy. I figured, I felt like Candy was like, I know a role for you. But here's the thing. I don't think Drew really believes that she's above auditioning. I think she's above auditioning for Pinky. As I said before, if Tyler Perry came to Drew and was just like, I have a role that I think you might be good for, but I need you to audition for it. There are plenty of A-list actors that, yes, they don't audition for a lot, but there are certain roles that they've auditioned for. They've talked about it in interviews and things like that, just because it's a different type of role for them. So I don't think that she's above auditioning. All right. So Drew is like, there's a protocol. I've been in this business a long time. You have to send the script to my manager. That's the thing. If you know anything about that process, she's right. She wasn't lying. There is a process. A lot of times you get the script from your agent or your manager. And sometimes they don't even send it to you. They read through it and they're like, yeah, she's not going to like this. That's why they're there. They're there to vet those types of things because understand people are sending things to them all the time. I'm sure there are people that see Drew all the time. Drew, you need to be in my new film, especially in Atlanta. Drew, I think you'd be amazing in my new film. She probably is like, reach out to my manager. The manager will be the bad guy, basically. Like, we read through it, and there is no budget. There's this, that. She's not going to want to do this. She has those. That's why they're there. That's the whole point of having a good team. We need another scene with that team, like we had last week with Drew's team. I saw some of her team in New York too. It was funny seeing them like when she was talking to the paparazzi. I was like, oh, there go Frida. A mess. Okay. Anyway, so Drew's just like, they flash back to when she FaceTimed with Pinky, and Pinky said, I would love for you to be, to audition for this role. And they were like, I'll send you my email. According to Pinky, Drew never sent the email. I don't know what to believe, but in that moment, Pinky said that Keon, her manager, said that you would audition. So I was like, when exactly did you have that conversation with Keon? So if she didn't send you the email, when did you have this conversation with Keon? Was it in that moment during the FaceTime? So I don't understand. Look, this is a great Housewives moment. This is a beef brewing between Drew and Pinky. But I dare I say, I'm on Drew's side with this. There is a protocol. That's why she has a team. And I know in Atlanta, she's probably being asked to do all kinds of different productions because there's always someone filming something. Hello, what's her name? Portia's Rent-A-Man. They're always filming and doing something. So I'm sure she's being asked all the time. Again, that's why you have a team. Okay? So look, and I believe Keon probably was like, no, I don't think you would want this role. Or maybe it's not in the budget. Maybe they want to pay her a certain amount of money. And Drew's like, no, I need to make a certain amount. Look, Allie, we are thinking the same thing. Allie says, and Pinky's project only has a $45,000 budget. Most of that's going to Notori. Then there's that. So maybe Drew's just like, I got bills to pay. I got a divorce to pay. I saw that Drew said on Watch What Happens Live, things between her and Ralph are in a decent place right now. I was happy for when she said it because it's gotten really ugly between Drew and Ralph, and she almost got kicked out of the house. So hopefully they're able to figure things out because they do have young children together. So she wasn't shady to Ralph on Watch What Happens Live. She looked great on Watch What Happens Live as well. I loved her dress. I loved the hair. The team is teaming. The team is working together. We did get to see Danny in this week's episode as well because he came with her on this audition. Well, no, she didn't even audition. So she's like, no, I'm not auditioning. And she ends up leaving. So she's like, so then we get to see Shamea audition. So you remember Shamea said that Gerald is not open to her, he's open to her acting, but there's certain things about the acting that he's not comfortable with. So she's just like so happy for this moment. So she auditions. The audition goes really well. Pinky gives her props. She's like, you really did not come in here on a friend tip. You were like, no, I'm going to do what I need to do. And then I'm going to, really get this role. Look, claps. Look, claps for Shamea. Shamea wants to be a star. Shamea's in her confession. She's like, I'm going to get this role. I got my rum bum. I'm like, oh, this is what, look. And I'm an advocate for women having their own thing. Yes, you might have the husband and the money and stuff like that, but it's good to have your own thing. But her striving for success in this world of entertainment for years, I feel like it's hurting her and it's hurting her family in a way because I think she's willing to do it at any means necessary. But okay. Guys, if you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark, a live show, returns to New York City on September 25th. There are live stream tickets available. Ticket information is available in the description as well. And for those that did not join our mailing list, you're missing out because that's where they found out about the live show first. And there will be more surprises and more exclusives coming to the mailing list. The mailing list is free. Join today. The link is available in the description. And also head on over to TheKempire.com/join. All right. Okay, Letitia. Letitia says, Kempire, you really don't like Kay. Drew ain't a good girl's girl. You're tired of Kay. We tired of Drew. I can't even take you seriously because I can't even see your face in this picture. I can't even take you seriously because for all I know, this is K. Michelle. For all I know, this is K. Michelle. Like, I can't take you serious. If you ain't gonna show your face, I'm not gonna even take that comment seriously. Because if you recall, I was one of the few people that wanted to see K. Michelle on the show and see what she would bring. I am so disappointed that she's not bringing it. I'm so disappointed. But that's me. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. I am going to drop the calling for members in just a second, guys. But live chat, we have over 2,500 of you watching on multiple platforms. I will drop the call and link for you. Once we get to, let's get to 1,100 likes. It's an easy free way of supporting not my channel, look, but other channels as well. So be sure to like the video if you haven't already. Miss Sharon says, no, I'm tired, okay? Tool says, Drew isn't a girl's girl. I can't take people serious. Kay dislikes women. I mean, based off of history, the narrative is that K. Michelle might not be a girl's girl, especially when she talks about this plot. She's coming for the girls, but the men that have actually said it, she's defending. But okay. Moving on. Speaking of K. Michelle, let's get to this scene. Did anyone found it funny that Phaedra brought a pecan pie to K. Michelle's house? Do you think that was part of the plot because of what Lil' Kim said about K. Michelle being like a bag of pecans? Bag of nuts. I was like, wait a second. And don't be surprised if K. Michelle runs with that narrative now, like, oh, she was being shady. She was part of the plot and the scheme. Don't be surprised if that's what she says next. Okay. Oh, anything to have a moment. So Kay says that she did everything in her power to not like Phaedra. So this again alludes to the fact that you were the one plotting. You were the one scheming. You were the one researching. You were the one coming in with ill intentions already with this group. You're telling on yourself. So she said she did everything in her power not to like Phaedra. So she already did not come in with an open heart. I believe if she felt this way about Phaedra, she came in with her own disposition to Drew. But okay. So she says that she feels obligated to give Dr. Caston a baby. So she's talking with Phaedra about this after Phaedra, because she said that she was judging Phaedra on what kind of pie she brought, and she brought a pecan pie. And she says, you know what that tells me about her? Is that she's nuts. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So they go out fishing. That fishing was a hot mess. For two country girls, that fishing was a hot mess. What were they doing? And apparently some older white men told her about that little concoction she put together to get fish. Did they even? Look, exactly. C Flex says, next week, quote, pecans were a metaphor. Now she's gonna be mad at Phaedra next season. Right now she's not fighting with Phaedra. Next season she's gonna be fighting with Phaedra. Okay, so they go fishing. So then she's talking with Phaedra about baby. She says she did the IVF journey before and she was crazier than she is now. So she's not going to do IVF anymore. So she's looking into doing a donor. So she says that she wants to give Dr. Caston a baby. He doesn't have a baby. So she wants to give him one. All right. But she says she's not willing to do IVF. She's definitely considering a donor. She tells Phaedra that she knows why that Portia wasn't invited to Gerald's party. Because Phaedra's just like, do you know why Portia wasn't invited? So K. Michelle's like, you know why. You know why she was. This is Phaedra being a veteran at reality television. She's sparking conversation. Also, I think the advice that Phaedra gave to K. Michelle was actually good advice. I don't think I don't think that she actually follows this advice, but yeah. SK says she wants Phaedra's fan base. The white older women, yeah. K. Michelle tells on herself. If you pay attention, K. Michelle will always tell you the truth about herself. And she's subliminally telling it to you. Angel says, who was she doing IVF with previously? That's a Good question, Angel. You're asking the necessary questions. I'm assuming it was with Dr. Caston, but all right. Archie says, Kay should just adopt a child. You know, anytime we talk about these women talking about IVF and surrogacy on this show, I said, well, let's also add the conversation of adoption, because there are a lot of black babies out there that don't get adopted. Exactly. This concoction of hot dogs and Kool-Aid, I've never heard of that. For those of you that go fishing, have you ever heard of that before? I'm not a fisher, so I don't know. I just moved on. Or did she just contaminate that lake? Toya says that K. Michelle definitely told on herself. Yeah. Patricia says that Shamea purposely did not invite Portia, and she was never going to invite her. I mean, I can't blame her. It's her home. It's her husband's birthday party. Her mom was probably there. There's already been the beef between the moms, and God only knows what her mom might say to Portia. But here we are. All right. Super says that Nash said that she asked to come and shoot and they would be fishing, but he declined, so it ended up being Phaedra. Oh, wait a minute. Did he say that during that interview? Because I didn't get to see the full interview. Nash said that K. Michelle asked to come and shoot and they would be fishing, but he declined, so it ended up being Phaedra. So what is she going to do? Talk about the plot? Because at this particular point, she's supposed to be good with Portia. Exactly. TT says, T Tortu says, they poisoned the fish with that crazy concoction. I'm like, those chemicals in Kool-Aid. Winter says, yes, adoption would be beautiful. Oh, wait, hold on. Miss OMG says, yep, people use Kool-Aid. I've never heard of that, but again, I don't go fishing. Hold on. Tammy says, we fish in Canada. Kool-Aid and hot dogs. Fish do eat processed meat. Let's start with that. Oh, wait, don't eat processed meat? I don't know. I ain't never heard. But again, maybe in the South, they do it a little bit differently. Allie says, here we go. Allie says, K. Michelle is super needy, like Letitia Scott. Espo's rise. I have to say, I do miss saying that. But that's it. I'm not going to be recapping the show. Tiki says that egg retrieval doesn't require a man. She was trying to get eggs to later be fertilized and form embryos. I think she's lying, but oh well. You think she's lying? Damn. You were defending her though, but at the same time you were like, but I think she's lying. Damn. But I think she's lying. All right. SK says, I know worms and chicken. Okay. Do not. Tammy says, do not eat processed meat. I figured that's what you were trying to say. All right. Let's move on, y'all. Because I already spent. Well, let me drop the call link first for our members. If you remember the channel, I'm going to drop the call link on the post tab. All right. So let me do that right now. I did not get a chance to watch the first 7 minutes of next week's episode, but that's okay because we'll talk about it next week in regards to the episode. Keep liking today's video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. You can also hear our live recaps, a cleaned up, edited version of our recaps on the Kempire's podcast. So be sure to subscribe to that if you haven't already. Hold on. Let me drop this call link. And live chat, once we get to 1,100 likes, I'll drop the call link for you guys in the live chat. All right. All right, members, I dropped the call link for you guys there. Happy Pride, guys. We're trying to raise $10,000 this month for our Pride Month fundraiser for benefiting the LGBT Center here in New York City. I know we can do it. We did $6,000 last year in 2 weeks. We can definitely do in 4 weeks $10,000. 100% of your donation goes to the organization, which is even better, which I love. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. All right, let's get back to my notes. There we go. Excuse me, y'all. So Phaedra gives K. Michelle some advice in regards to the group. All right. K. Michelle says she isn't going to attend Drew's national anthem event, and that's why Phaedra was giving her the advice in regards to this group and how to navigate this group. So K. Michelle says she's not going to Drew's national anthem event because she's doing the Rich Homie Quan barbecue celebration that they do. K Michelle, she doesn't like Drew. The fact that Drew said that she doesn't belong, and that's when I was like, ding, 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 ding. Now she's gotten something on Drew to be mad about because Drew says she doesn't belong. Okay, and she's just like, Drew's at the bottom, so I don't know, she doesn't, she feels that Drew is here at the bottom and she's at the top. And one of the things that we said at the top of the season was that K Michelle has her accolades, Drew has her accolades. But you keep coming for Drew being sort of like this bottom feeder, but you had to beg to get on this show. Hear me out. You literally, Andy said that you were in the comment, you were in his DMs years ago saying I'd be a fantastic Real Housewife. Okay? Fast forward, now you're on the show. You're on the same show as Drew Sidora. Drew has been killing it these last few years as well as a housewife. She's evolved. Everyone has come at her, including the season, including a veteran like yourself to reality television, and still you run away at the end. All right. Exactly. Coco says, Kay, please humble yourself. You're not better. You're not better. Look. I just can't with K. Like at this point, I'm just exhausted by the same thing over and over again because there really is no issue. There is no issue. Yes, you could be bothered by what Drew said, but you started this with Drew. Drew wasn't coming for you. And if there was some sort of plot and plan, you should have let it play out because now you just look like you were listening to the voices in your head. P-Dub says that Nosh said that K. Michelle said it was her dream job. Of course. A lot of these girlies want to be on Real Housewives, especially the ones that are on Love and Hip Hop. They would do anything. Look, you saw Jocelyn Hernandez. She's like, Andy, I'd be a fantastic housewife. They definitely not putting Jocelyn on this show. Definitely not putting Jocelyn. All right. So let's talk about Drew's event at Rich Homie Kwan's celebration, all right? So Pinky and Shamea come to support. Portia was there. Kelly was there. A bunch of Angela couldn't make it. K. Michelle said she wasn't coming. She was sick, but K. Michelle was in the car. K. Michelle was in the car. Makai says Jocelyn Hernandez for Real Housewives of Miami. Sure. the new season that's currently filming. Tell her to show up. Okay. Oh gosh. All right. So Pinky and Shamea show up to support, and they're hyping Drew up, and you're like, do you want to practice with us? And Drew's like, no, I'm good. As someone that has professional vocal training, I remember my voice coach saying that, and that's one of the songs that I practiced with my voice coach. Where he said that this is the hardest song to sing as a singer. How do you guys think that Drew did? We've heard so many people that are more established as singers than Drew do the song and mess it up. Drew did a phenomenal job. I'm not saying it was the best national anthem, but it was solid. It was strong. I like this. I like that she was able to show off her vocals because so many of like her new songs are very like, they don't show off her vocals. But here, one of the hardest songs to sing live, she did a good job, especially on that free. Okay. So did y'all notice Kelly say hello to Portia? I thought you had so much smoke. I said, I think Kelly was drunk. I think she was lit. And that's why she was turning up against Portia. All of a sudden you see Portia, you're like, hi, hey, Portia. Girl, why are you saying hello to Portia? Yes, it's one thing to move on, but I don't know. I'm like, hi. I'm like, all right. Okay. So Drew sings the national anthem. I think she did a fantastic job. Phaedra didn't end up going because Mr. President ended up tearing his ACL or something like that. So K. Michelle calls Phaedra asking where Phaedra is. This is K. Michelle, as someone that's supposed to be a veteran of reality television, you calling Phaedra because you already at the filmed event. You told Drew that you weren't coming, but you're at this event, hiding in the truck. Like, are you here? Are you here? As a veteran of reality television, or MCL, that's what he tore. So Phaedra's like, no, baby, I couldn't make it. So she's hiding in the car. She eventually comes out and she says, I really came out to support the family. Okay, Michelle, you're whack. I just want to let you know. You're whack. You're whack. And it's so crazy that in 2026, you went from, again, I was hyping up K. Michelle being on the show. I was like, she's had so many iconic reality TV moments. What a disappointment. What a disappointment. LH Nail says, did she need Phaedra for backup? That's the way it was seeming. Okay? EJ Nichols says, I'm very confused by Pinky because Pinky even said Drew didn't say yes to auditioning. Yeah. There's something about that. Maybe they'll clear it up at the reunion. Something about that just didn't make sense to me, but I feel like there was some sort of breakdown in communication. I feel like we will see Drew vindicated at the reunion, but here we are. Exactly. In this case, are you big and bad or do we hide in trucks? Yeah. Tanya says, yes, she disappointed me. Sharjay says, yes, a disappointment. T says, a straight disappointment. All right. Before we move on, guys, what else was said? So K. Michelle does eventually come out. She does come out because she's already there. She's at the filmed event. She comes out. She says hello to the family, to the girlfriend, things like that. And then she's introducing them to other people that she knows on the cast. So Drew's like, oh my gosh, you came. Thank you so much for coming. I know you said that you were sick. She's like, I came to support the family. K. Michelle, you're so whack. I came to support the family. How much you want to bet that if this wasn't being filmed, Kay wouldn't have been there to support the family? Right? She wouldn't have been there. So she ends up staying there for a little bit, but then she ends up leaving. But we have another scene. We have this scene at the restaurant. So Drew agrees to meet up with Shamea and K. Michelle to have this scene. Okay? Kay says she doesn't like going places where she doesn't belong. When Drew arrives and Drew's like, oh, I'm glad that you came. And she's like, I don't like going to places where I don't belong. Going back to what Drew said about her. Okay? Drew says she doesn't understand segments of sentences because K. Michelle seems so bothered when Drew arrives. Just pay attention to her facial reaction. Again, we're watching an edited show. It could be spliced and pasted and all that good stuff, but I don't think so. Because Drew arrives and K. Michelle's just sitting there eating and looking at Drew like, seeming so bothered by Drew, which doesn't make sense. But maybe there's more to the plot, okay? So she says, I don't go to places where I don't belong. And Drew's like, I don't understand. I don't understand segment of sentences. K. Michelle, and in her confessional, not in the moment, because this would have been a perfect time in the moment. Because when Drew says she doesn't understand segment of sentences and I understand, punctuations and things like that. And K. Michelle is just like, like gagged. But in her confession, she's like, you don't understand? You don't understand? I'm Miss Florida A&M. I got accepted into 3 law schools. Well, we couldn't tell. Okay, we couldn't tell because I have to agree with Drew. Speak your piece. You have an issue with me. Okay. She's like, I don't have to present anything for you. Okay. Drew says that K. Michelle needs to start speaking up for her. I love that Drew's sarcasm. She's like, you need to start speaking up for yourself. Drew asks if she is making K. Michelle uncomfortable because K. Michelle ends up getting up and says, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Mind you, nothing really has happened. And I don't care if we're seeing an edited version of this because please understand, if there was more that happened that warranted K. Michelle to get up, production would have showed it. Because then we would be able to understand. K. Michelle's already trying to get up to go to the bathroom, and Shamea takes her bag. I will give Shamea this. Shamea was being celebratory and very encouraging for Drew. And I was like, okay, this is going in a good place because, Shamea and Drew have had their issues. But it seems like it's going in a good place right now between them. It goes left at the end. But as K. Michelle is trying to leave, she's taking her bag, but Shamea's like, I'm gonna hold your bag because Shamea feels like, oh, she's going to leave the scene. She still leaves the scene. She gets into Shamea's truck, her ride, her car service, and she ends up leaving. She's like, where is she going? So Drew's like, I make her that uncomfortable? Drew says that she says to Shamea, because Shamea and Drew end up continuing their conversation. She say, if you're going to be a good friend to Kay, then you need to hold her accountable. You need to hold her accountable. And Shamea was like, well, Drew, you did kept on saying K. Michelle's name with that man, Black. And that's where I was like, I'm glad I rewatched this episode, because at first I was like, I don't understand why Drew had that energy towards Shamea at first. But then I heard that line. So Shamea was perpetuating the plot in the scheme. Very much what Angela said that she was doing. She was perpetuating this plot and scheme that Drew was associating Black with K. Michelle. We haven't seen that. The only time that she even said anything was in the Sprinter when she was like, well, you know him. He's your friend. You literally had those DMs, okay? You literally said it yourself. You literally made us know before Drew. No. When you saw him on FaceTime at the dinner party, you were like, hey, nice to see you. Not nice to meet you. Nice to see you. There's a difference. So that gets Drew turned up. Drew says that Shamea is you're perpetuating the issue between them. Because she's just like, now you're saying that you're agreeing that I've been associating K. Michelle's name with Black. So that's when Drew is just like, last year you were the other one's lapdog. This year you're her lapdog. So that word really triggers Shamea. We all have our triggers, but calling Shamea a lapdog triggers her. She's like, oh, and now you're calling me names. So Shamea ends up getting up and leaving. Drew showed up in a scene where no one is her friend, and it's just her. No one is there. And she bothered both of these women, and they ended up getting up and leaving. Is Shamea going to come out and say that production told her to leave again too? I'll wait. So she ends up getting up and leaving. Drew's just like, she's like, I'm going to have my lemon drop and enjoy this food that production is going to pay for. And then Shamea goes to meet up with K. Michelle because K. Michelle didn't leave. So that's even funnier. K. Michelle was still there. Her poor assistant, came in to collect the bag. K. Michelle was still there because she left her bag. So K. Michelle has the Star Spangled Banner playing. She's singing it off key. Shamea comes out because Shamea can't help but be cringy. She starts singing it with Kay. And Drew could probably hear them singing it. Drew still sounded better. Drew sounded like what? This was so cringy watching both of them. You both ran from Drew. Okay, you both ran from Drew. She really didn't say or do much to you guys. You both ran from her, and you think that you're this moment of you singing the national anthem, not even singing it well, doesn't land the way that you guys think that it lands. You both look corny as hell. And then you're singing this on the way out. No, you both look corny. You both ran from Drew Sidora. This episode was all about Drew Sidora. This episode proved to me that Drew Sidora is earning her check. I don't love the Black scenes. I don't love, some of the antics over the years. But Drew has evolved. Drew has solidified her place on this show. She was the MVP because she showed up in a scene where she had no friends, and boom, boom, one by one, got rid of them, both of them. And then they had to have their corny moment. And oh man, they have their corny moment sounding off key and ran away. Drew, all I want for you, make sure you look the best at this reunion. Make sure the team is teaming. Make sure you get the looks looking because you cleared them, and I hope you're ready to clear them at this reunion because that is a mess. A mess. Saintly Icona says K. Michelle fumbled her whole season by creating narratives in her head. But dare I say she's been doing that for a very long time. We're just catching up. We're just catching up. Lene Review says that she needs Britt Eady's former stylist. You mean current stylist? Paris still works with Britt Eady. And Paris is working with a bunch of girls. Portia working with Cynthia and someone else. I feel like they're working with someone else. I don't know. I remember who. But if available, Paris, come on. Let's get it together. I think she's gonna look amazing. Okay. Not as she does have a stylist. The stylist was at the damn the stylist was at the meeting, right? That does not take away from the stylist. That was at the meeting. Wait, Nasty says, wait, no Angela? Will she be fired? What do you mean no Angela? We talked about Angela. All right. Yeah, and Wendy Acefo. Paris is styling Wendy Acefo over there in Potomac. Mm-hmm. Styling all the girls. Paris used to work with Marlo. I think they still collab in different looks and things like that. Mello says they are so bothered by her. Seems like jealousy. I don't know why. I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to say it's jealousy. I think they have no respect for Drew. I think K. Michelle was watching the women very much like she's told on herself. She thinks that Portia thinks she's the queen of Atlanta. She says she came in not wanting to like Phaedra. So I already know that K. Michelle had her thoughts on Drew. She probably felt like, no one likes Drew. She's not one of the veterans, blah, blah, blah. She came in with no respect for Drew and created this plot to come for Drew. And Drew, because Drew's karma is so good, Teflon Don. She got Shamea up, and she got K. Michelle, who's supposed to be a veteran of reality television, supposed to be that girl. She got them both running. And they were like, oh, Sega. Cringy. Like, you both look corny. You both looked corny as hell, running from Drew Sidora because you didn't want the smoke. But as I said to you before, I'm worried for Shamea at this reunion. But K. Michelle is so delusional. She's going to be fine at this reunion. She's going to think, I had a fantastic reunion. I can't wait to do it again. All right. What's going on, Sky? Sky's watching from London. Guys, be sure to let me know where you're watching from. I always love to hear that. Guys, we just hit 1,000 likes. Thank you. All right. I love it. Miss Esquire is celebrating 52 months of being a member here on the channel. Become a member, guys, today at teamkempire.com/join. Miss Esquire says, Kempire, you know how to get money out of us. Set the sound free for a cute coin. The sound stays locked in the vault. But thank you, guys. I appreciate you supporting the channel, but you're supporting a charity. But also Kempire After Dark is returning to New York City on September 25th at the Green 42. Live stream tickets are available. But New York, show up. Because if I see another person on these streets of New York say, oh, I didn't know you had a live show. Really? I mentioned in every single video. So you cannot be a fan of the content. If you say to me, oh, I didn't know you had a live show. New York City. Go get your tickets today. Ticket information will be available in the description. All right. And really, depending on how this show goes, will define if I even do another show in New York next year. I'm a man of my word. So, because for those of you that said, oh, Kemper, you said you're not going to do any more shows for the year. I didn't say that about New York. I said I might do another New York City show. But if New York don't show up for this one, last show of for life. And I'll just go to DC where I'm respected. Bree, and my thing is, so if Serena can tell y'all she's retiring and she's back how many years later, so can I. Okay. Bree, and Lotto says she's retiring too. Bree, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Bree says, because I'm still not over Drew and Derwin. Joke. Well, you know what? Everyone always still is very mad at Drew for that. Your finance auntie says, Kay, thank you for the super chat. Kay is a pick-misha. She definitely does not like women. I mean, she likes them enough for holidays to hook up with. She said it herself. Mr. Mellon Magic, thank you so much for the super chat for being a member. Ms. Mellon says, quick synopsis of a 7-minute preview. Candy in the mix. What? Candy is in the mix? Is she film? She didn't film, right? I didn't get to see it. Were they talking about Candy? Tish, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member and a new King's Guard. We appreciate you. Shamea is fine calling Angela anything and everything under the sun, but gets triggered when she's called a lapdog. We all have triggers. We all have triggers. All right, guys, once we get to 1,100 likes, I will drop the call link for the general audience. But members, I did drop the call link on the community tab or post tab here on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe. It is subscribers only live chat, y'all. And become a member at TheKempire.com/join. I need some more water, Lord. Hold on, y'all. Let me do this. Okay. I am going to bring up our members. Please respect the timer. Keep in mind the opinions of the calls do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is of their own opinion and alleged. Okay. Okay. T says, how many times did Michael Jordan retire, Kempire? You're doing well. Oh, you're right. I forgot about that. I really forgot about that. Speaking of basketball, Knicks in 4. Look, Knicks in 4. The Knicks game is tonight. Everyone, we're rooting for the Knicks, right? If they win 3, I really want. I mean, I know I've said before that I would like to have a little bit, spice this up a bit and have them maybe lose one and then come back. But no, now I'm just like, no, Knicks in 4. Knicks in 4. Let's get it. All right. All right. Let's get to our callers. All right. Cynthia. Oh, hold on a second. Cynthia, you must have called in before. Let me kick out the other Cynthia and bring the original Cynthia up. Cynthia, are you there?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh, I like how you said I'm the original. One and only. Team Shamea. Team Shamea in the building. And y'all don't leave Shamea alone. I love Shamea. I think that Drew was doing too much at the end. Yes, I do. Yeah. Drew,
are you just saying that should be to trigger people?
Well, I'm a Cancer. That's what we do.
Wow.
Womp womp. It was a good show, Kempire. Still waiting for the reunion, and that's it. Have a good one.
All right, thank you so much. Take care. All right, let me restart the timer. Yeah, Cynthia just called in to say hello, y'all. Cynthia really don't want to say nothing about this show. It says she Team Shamea. A lie she tell. Okay, Miss Esquire is backstage. Miss Esquire, what's going on? It's been a while since you called in.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well,
Okay, your mayor is Muslim, your bagels are Jewish, your Christians Dior, Nixon 4.
Boom.
I'm with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sweep them up, get them up out of here.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the thing with K. Michelle, as someone who knows her from, her Memphis lore and somebody who's watched her on reality television for almost 20 years. There's 3 categories of women you can be on reality TV. You can be a sad bee, a mad bee, or a bad bee. And the problem I have with K. Michelle is that she likes to oscillate between being all 3. And you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You cannot in one instance proclaim that you're a bad bee. And then you want to go to your tears and you want to play victim. And then you want to have all of this conflict and be mad. You cannot do that. It does not read well for the audience. And maybe that's not us giving her as much dimension as we should give her as a person, because she's a 3-dimensional person. She should be able to be all these things. But in reality television, it reads as really erratic and it doesn't read well. And so I just need her to pick a lane. But K. Michelle has never been on reality television without being a victim. And I said in the chat, I was going to make a comparison to her and Amanda from Summer House. They actually don't know how to exist in a reality TV space without being a victim. And so they are constantly looking for a villain, even when they themselves are the villain in the story. And so Kay just doesn't see that. She lacks self-awareness. She's very entertaining. And like you, I was happy that she was returning to our screens. But it is the lack of self-awareness. It's not the inauthenticity, because K. Michelle, like you said, is actually very authentic, but she lacks any kind of self-awareness of how she reads on television, and that is a part of being on television. I'll tell you the other person who suffers from that on this cast, Shamea.
Oh.
Not in the same way.
Yeah.
And I would say the third person who suffers from that is Kelly. And that's why all three of them are doomed in terms of staying on this cast. And that's all.
Damn. Thanks, Miss Esquire.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. All right. Noda Queen is backstage. We're going to bring Noda Queen up next. Noda Queen, what did you feel about this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta?
I feel like it's the Drew show now, and I'm here for it because I've always been a Drew fan. Even with Derwin, because Melanie was a bird and she deserved that. Like, she should have went back to Baltimore.
That's a hot take. What?
Look,
you were Team Drew even during that?
I was a child at that time. A child. And I was like, yes, Melanie, let that man play in your face so you can go do better. Mm-hmm. She needed it, and she still ain't learned her lesson. Drew wasn't Tom enough. So it's Melanie's fault.
Wow.
But anyway, I just feel like Hey Michelle and Shamea were trying to set Drew up because there's no way you thought you were going to come and reconcile in any way with Shamea as your mediator. Like, if you really wanted, you should have brought a neutral party like Phaedra or Pinky or something like that. I feel like they both would have been able to actually mediate that as somebody that K. Michelle trusts, right? But they didn't want to do that. They were trying to play in Drew's face, but they played themselves because Drew didn't even really play in their face yet. They're just too weak for it. And then singing off key after all that, a mess. And I want K. Michelle to really understand how famous she really is, because it's not as much as she thinks she is right now. Because don't get me wrong, I did used to bump K. Michelle.
Oh yeah.
But I was also on a school bus when I used to bump K. Michelle. And I'm saying she been talking about that country album since she been on Love and Hip Hop, and it has yet to drop. So I don't know where she thinks she is in relation to Drew, but it's not that high up. It might not even be higher. So I need her to really get it together. We already know I think Shamea a cornball, so I'm not gonna harp on that. But that's all I really had to say.
Thanks, Noda Queen. Bye. Those are some hot takes in regards to, damn, she was Team Drew even during the game. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's bring. Oh, Dalen's backstage. Dalen, what's going on?
How are you?
Are you? Do you have your headphones on?
Yes, I do. Let me take them off.
You sound like a robot. That damn, those AirPods, the amount of money we spend on those AirPods, they sound horrible.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit. Go ahead.
I just want to say, I feel like Shamea is just going through, she's just reaping the repercussions of her passive aggressiveness. She brought this all to herself because she couldn't truly convey how she felt. So everybody's just going to run over her. So it's her fault. And I've always been on Drew's side. Like, after her, second season on the show, I've been seeing it for Drew. She's growing in front of our camera. Like, similar to Wendy.
Yeah.
From Potomac. That's why I like a slow burn, a gradual growth through the seasons, not instant, unless you have the personality like Angela. You know what I mean? And I feel like K. Michelle is just disappointing me because I've been a fan of her since day one. And I'm just like, girl, you get up here and you're crying every day. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I feel like this will be Kelly and Shamea's last season because they are literally not entertaining at all. Boring. And to comment on the game, I'll say Melanie didn't learn too much because she had Joan Clayton as a cousin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Y'all have a good day.
You too, Dalen. All right. Let's bring up way of Keith. Hold on a second, Keith. There we go. Keith, are you there?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well.
That's great. So first, I'd have to say, Angela, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. I see right through Angela. Now, my thing is this. She may have the fans food today. She probably had the fans food yesterday. She'll probably have the fans food tomorrow. But Angela, if you don't come to this reunion with any receipts, that would be strike two. All right? And you're treading on the line of Giselle Bryan. So I'm telling you right now, the fans may like you today, but the moment you reach strike three, they'll be right ready for you to leave. You're giving me also a little bit of Sheree vibe because I don't
Yeah.
even know what her storyline is this season, other than being a bone collector. But also, I have to say, Cynthia, she's a little too flip-floppy for me. And I feel like Cynthia is the epitome of passive aggression because it's clear as day that she is choosing the side of Portia and not the other side because she continuously defends Portia, Shamea, and she wasn't even in the scene. Like, how you defending something and you weren't even there? So my thing is, this is Cynthia's multiple attempt of actually showing that she is passive aggressive. Because even years ago with Nene, that was her biggest issue with Nene, was that she would harbor resentment, but not actually say how she feels. And I feel like she don't like the other side, but she is just being passive aggressive, but simultaneously also trying to seem like she's the mediator. So Cynthia, stay with your chest, pick a side. That's it. That's all. But yeah.
All right. Thanks, Keith. All right, you notice I haven't turned on the timer for our members. If y'all keep it short and cute, I'll let you speak your mind. But keep it short and cute, members. Guys, you're just joining us. We're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's the latest episode. If you're watching the replay of this, be sure to let me know your thoughts on the episode. What stood out to you? How would you rate it? How did you feel about Drew's performance? And when I say performance, I'm not even talking about the national anthem. I'm talking about her performance against Pinky, her performance against K. Michelle, her performance against Shamea. Be sure to let me know. And this would be one of the shows that we will be talking about come September for my live show. Kempire After Dark returns to New York City September 25th at the Green Room 42. There are live stream tickets available as well. Ticket information will be available in the description. Go get your tickets today. Toya is backstage. We're going to bring Toya up next. Hold on a second. Toya, are you there? Toya?
Yes. Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Hey, I have a rising Kempire. Okay. I didn't like that Angela brought up that rumor, or so-called quote-unquote rumor about Shamea. She does work in sports media, and if that rumor, if they find out, she can lose her job. And I just thought, the lady's married, she got 2 kids, and she's trying to have another one. It's just really messy. I remember back in the day on Housewives, Kim Zolciak brought up her own tea with Big Papa. Kenya brought out the cookie lady. People used to say names or bring in someone that can validate their story. I feel like if you're not going to say the name, then leave it on the playground. Shout out to Monique. I think production shouldn't include that because that is way too messy. They need to be forced to say the name of who told them, or at least have the kind of proof that Joellen has on Rula's husband in Rhode Island. You know what I'm saying? Or anyone could just get on here and say anything. Am I lying?
Nope.
I mean, they have a video over there. The lady is online. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would prefer to see. That way there's some truth there. But now it's like everybody's making things up just to have them juicy. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Kempire.
Thanks, Toya. All right. Let's go. Let's bring up Demi next. Demi, what did you want to share?
Just a couple things. And hey, how are you, Kempire? Congratulations on your new show.
Thank you.
You're about to be doing.
Thank you.
A couple things stuck out to me about. Okay, so I'll start from Drew real quick because I was talking about Drew. Did you notice that her so-called driver wasn't driving when they pulled up to Pinky's?
I noticed that too. I was like, wait, he came out the passenger seat?
Okay. I came on late, so I don't really know, unfortunately, all the touch points. I came on earlier, but then I had to go do something. So there was that. I really didn't like how Pinky was treating Drew about her not auditioning. Like, calm all the way down. That was kind of low-key bullying, too, to me. I didn't like that. I didn't like the way she's like, well, here's how I do things. And she's like, I'm trying to be professional. I get it. She doesn't want to do, maybe certain projects a certain way. She wants people to see her as a professional, which I can respect. And her choosing to not respect that was kind of rude to me. Like, this is how I do things. And then there was one more point I wanted to make. Oh, K. Michelle's husband. Kind of a letdown, like a real letdown at that party. I know they're saying it was last minute, but everyone else looked nice. Yeah. Whoever Kelly even walked in, I don't know who that guy was to her that she walked in with, but it appeared that they walked in together. I don't know. There was some guy standing behind Kelly. Even he looks nice. I mean, he didn't have an African garb, but he looks okay. And K Michelle is making me not excited about her country album. I was really for it when she was like less visible, I guess.
Yes.
Or less us getting to know who she could possibly really be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just not giving aspirational. You know, I listen to country music. You know, I listen to Ella. I like Ella, and she's good. But K Michelle is not making me want to buy her next project. Sadly.
Damn.
That's all. Have a great day.
You too, Demi. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And I really thought that this was the reason why K Michelle came on the show, was to promote the country. And she has been talking about it. She has been talking about a country album on the show. But I thought this was her way of doing that. And look, in all fairness, K Michelle, I know a lot of people are saying, you know, where's this country album? She's been talking about this country album for a long time. Well, she's really been doing the work. She's been spending the time in Nashville, you know, building the relationships so that she can get in those doors. For a Black woman in country music, even for Beyonce was hard. So can you imagine for K Michelle? So she's been wanting to do this for a long time. So she has been doing the work. But now that she is here and Beyonce really has pushed that door open for a lot of these Black country artists, I expected that the album would be here. I know we got the single, but we need the album. But the other element about music is that people, you know, there are plenty of talented people out there when it comes to being able to sing and write and perform. But being a personality that people can relate to and like is also a really important element of being an artist. So Demi saying that makes me wonder, has this turned you off to her music? Do you not want to hear K Michelle music because of what you're watching on the show? Some of the Bravo universe wasn't listening to K Michelle before. Some of the Bravo universe didn't even know who K Michelle was before this. And now they're like, I wish I never knew. Oh, damn. All right, Damien is backstage. We're going to bring Damien up next. Damien, what's going on? I can barely hear you, Damien. Damien?
Hello?
There we go. That's what I need to hear.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear you. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Let's see.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Damien is backstage. We're going to bring Damien up next. Damien, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, what's up?
Okay, go ahead. Just go ahead, Damien.
Damien. I can't hear me.
Damien? Damien, you eventually hear this. You eventually hear this, Damien. Drop out and then call back in. This happens. It happens. You know, everyone gets affected. The StreamYard of it all. It's all right. We'll bring you back up, Damien. You'll eventually hear this. Drop out, come back in. Let me bring up April next. Shout out to all our members. We're taking callers from our members. Members, I will drop live chat. I will drop the call link for you guys in just a moment. You're going to get the timer. Members have not gotten the timer yet. If they start running long, I'm going to have to cut them off. Okay. All right. April, what did you want to share?
Hi, good afternoon, Kempire. So I want K Michelle to tap into that love and hip hop. Ooh, this be a shaking the table. We know you have it in you. And you know that song that she did, Kurt Got Bags?
Yeah.
You know that type of song? Like, tap into that energy because you are seriously flopping. I'm just like, oh my gosh. But then again, what can we expect from a person who is a pick-me-sha? And the type of music that she gives, it gives a lot of that energy. And I had to remove her music from my library because I said, that's just too much for me. So I probably won't listen to the country album. And I do think Shamea needs to let go of the Bigfoot jokes because, trigger warning, that is transphobic. That's not cute. We love the big girls and we love all our trans girls. Protect the dolls. Don't do that. And I think with the whole Pinky and Drew situation, it's like, I feel 50-50. I like Turk on the fence like you. Like, yes, you should have auditioned regardless if you feel like you are like above that. It's like, you know, if you want to keep getting out there, not to say that she's not, but I just thought, you know, it would have been just nice to audition just to go along for the sake of getting along, because what do you have to lose? Nothing really. And Pinky is growing.
Maybe a lot though. The budget's $45,000.
You know, but you know, she needed. She need everything.
Does she?
Have a great night.
Thanks, April. I know people are going to say Drew does need it because she was about to get kicked out the home. Because remember, she said she would be homeless if they kicked her out the home, and apparently she only makes $12,000 a month. But I told you, she on paper she probably makes $12,000 a month, but her Bravo check, her other checks are probably going into her LLC. That's the thing when you're self-employed and you work that way. It looks that way when you're dealing with a divorce like this, but she's definitely making more than $12,000 a month. All right, let's bring up Scarlett J next. Scarlett, what's going on? Scarlett?
Oh, hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, gosh. Sorry, Kempire.
I can hear you, Scarlett.
You can't hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, boy. I don't know. It's not.
We can hear you,
It
though.
always happens. You can't?
I can hear you.
Okay. Hear you, but I'm going to keep going. Hey, Kempire, and you know that we're going to be, everybody in New York is going to come out to your next sold out show, okay?
Yes.
We're going to show out. Hello. All right, so I do have a take. I honestly think that, people are saying like, oh, we don't like Kay, we don't like Shamea, we don't like Kelly, but taking them all out of the mix, honestly, the vets should actually be happy that they are showing their unhinged, cringy selves because it's actually giving them scenes. Because outside of that, are we really talking about Portia and her relationship? Where is Phaedra and her? We're not talking about Phaedra. And Angela, we have absolutely gotten nothing about her personal life. And Cynthia is a friend of. So if you don't get, and even last year, I know that everyone is like Team Drew right now, but even last year, we were skipping Drew's scenes with Ralph. Like we had no care about their issues, and we are actually glad that he's not on our TV screen this season. So if anything, we should be thanking the newbies for giving us scenes, for giving us events, for giving us episodes, and their cringy and unhinged self, because it's giving y'all leg room to make the scenes work as vets. So I honestly think that they should keep all of them. And then we also have to remember the idea of character development. None of these ladies were great on their first and second season. Like it took them a couple seasons to get better. So just give them some time. I think that they're doing a great job.
Okay. Scarlett J, thank you so much for calling in.
Bye.
Look, I have to agree with her because we've talked about this at the top of the season. When it comes to the veterans that are on this show, they don't have a lot going on. So if we didn't have some of what's going on personally with like Pinky or Kelly, what would we be talking about? The person that no, because even Shamea has stuff that's going on when it comes to her baby journey and whatnot. Valid points, because if it was just on the vets that are on here, we would be like, oh, snooze fest. Nothing's happening with this cast. Valid points. Very valid points. All right, let me bring up Miss Sharon that's backstage. Oh, wait, no, that's not Miss Sharon. Where's Miss Sharon at? All right, Say Pep is backstage. Say Pep, what's going on?
Hey, it's me, it's Sharon.
I thought it was I was like, wait a minute. Miss Sharon, what's going on? What team are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Knicks.
Yes, all right.
And I can tell you why.
Okay.
And I don't usually watch professional basketball, but when I did watch it, I was a huge Knicks fan because of Patrick Ewing.
Yes.
But I used to watch Patrick Ewing when he was in college.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So with Georgetown, and come back, Georgetown. I don't know what's going on with you, but get better. But anyway, yeah, Knicks in 4. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with the Spurs. My husband is from Texas, and normally I go with Texas, but not the Dallas Cowboys.
Ooh.
But
what team is your husband going for right now?
my husband doesn't watch basketball.
Okay.
He's not really a sports fan like I am.
Okay.
I'm a huge sports fan. I take it from my mother. And my relatives were big in sports.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I watch sports, and I used to play sports.
Okay.
And so did my relatives. We all did.
Okay.
I have a cousin that's getting a lot of scholarship offers to play football.
Okay.
He's a beast. I wish I could show you a picture of him, but he's a beast.
Okay.
He just sits on people. I'm like, what the hell?
That sits on people. Okay. Miss Sharon, did you have any thoughts on this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta?
It was a good episode. I'm you know how you used to could tell the alliances, who's
Mm-hmm.
with who and who's, you can't even tell anymore because K Michelle, she'll smile in Kelly's face, but then she'll talk about her.
Right?
So what is that?
Yeah.
And Kelly is always on her side. And I don't know what in the world they have a beef with Drew with, and I especially K Michelle. There's something going on with her mind. And public announcement, they have help for that. And I don't know if I can't tell if Drew and Portia are friends, but I don't think any of these ladies should be, when Cynthia shows up, I don't think any of these ladies should be going after Cynthia.
Mm.
And I wish Cynthia would have went off in Shamea's house, but she says, I'm going to keep it cute because I'm in somebody else's house. But babies, 50 Cent should have came out.
Mm.
But that's okay. I forgive her.
I think it's going to happen at the reunion because Shamea has been saying some messy things about Cynthia in her interviews. So I think it's going to go down at the reunion.
Yeah. But yeah, that's, it's not like the old shows where you can tell who was with who. And the reason why they probably brought on K Michelle is because she was with that other show and they thought that she could bring
Queen's
her
Court
fans with her.
Mm-hmm.
But her fans hasn't really been showing up and the ratings are really reflecting that. And so I think this should be her one and done because she ain't hitting. Ooh. And I hope this is a one and done. Because that girl needs help. She needs help. She needs to stay off TV, stop doing music, and get professional help. And Kempire, that's all I have to say. Go Knicks. And I feel sorry that you can't go to the watch party because you know who is showing up.
Who said I was going to go anyway? But I mean, yeah, I feel bad for the fans that were going to go.
You couldn't. Yeah.
I know. But you can go to Bryant Park. They're going to have you can go to Bryant Park today to do the watch.
Good. That's really good. I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
but
I'm not going.
Today, I'm burning up in Missouri and it's cloudy and hot.
Oof. Well, stay cool. I'll talk to you soon, Miss Sharon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. We love when Miss Sharon calls in. That's our sports segment. That's KSPN here on the channel for those that aren't familiar. She said she had a PSA. They got help for that. No way. All right. These are the last two members that will have just unlimited time, but not really members. Do not take advantage. Tyler and Camille backstage. They will be the last members. Everyone else are the general audience. I will be adding the timer. Okay? But I will give you a nice juicy minute. Okay. All right. Tyler's backstage. Tyler, what did you want to share about this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So I agree with the caller. I think that this cast is just fine. Please do not take anyone away. I think the real issue is it with the budgeting? Did they take away each girl having their own producer? Because you remember back in the day, like Carlos King was assigned Nene and everybody had their producer. I think that what's going on with K Michelle, while she is getting on my nerves and I'm a huge fan of hers, because I'm from Memphis, I've been knowing about her since forever. I think the problem with K Michelle is she's being authentic as far as I don't know these girls. I'm trying to figure it out. But if she had a better producer or if they had a producer that was not trying to produce moments and kind of guided her through this, I think we would have a better outcome with her because I love seeing her with Phaedra. I felt like she was being very authentic. What I will say is I saw a preview for next week's episode and it seems like Shamea lied because I watched this interview with Don Juan and Candy and Don Juan were very excited about K Michelle being on the show. So who is telling you that K Michelle should not be on the show? Now I like Shamea, But who is telling you not to be her friend? Because Candy and Don Juan, I literally just watched this interview again to see if I was crazy. They were excited about her being on the show. In fact, Candy brought up that she mentioned for other VH1 people, i.e. Tammy Roman, which I think would be a horrible idea, but other people to be on the show. And she was like, they were saying no. So she's excited that they're reaching out to other talent. So Shamea may not have said anything about the Drew thing per se, but I think it's going to come out that you kind of influenced some of her opinion on some of these girls, Shamea, you and your messy mama and her prayer cloth. But what I will say about Angela, I will say this about Angela. I do not see next season going in Angela's favor. I swear for life, I do not. I think that Angela, again, like somebody said, she's Giselle Bryant with good shade. You sprinkle little things out there and you try to isolate and attack one person, it never works in your favor. If Shamea handles this, if Shamea comes into this reunion and strictly steps into the role of, I've been talking ish. What y'all gonna do about it? I said this. Where are your receipts? It will 100% work in her favor, and people will go against Angela. And another thing, last thing, I do think that again that we need to keep the same cast because the progression of Drew. I'm no Drew fan. Don't get me wrong, because Drew is delusional. You were in Step Up, but you have not been in huge films like that, girl. But no shade. Being for real, what I will say about Drew is I'm liking her progression. And imagine if they would have just chopped her and listened to the fans. I do think that with K. Michelle formulating some friendships like with Phaedra, that could bridge the gap to make up with Portia and Drew. She has a real friendship with Kelly now because they hang out a lot outside of the show. I see a world where her and Shamea are going to eventually bump heads for the messy stuff because K. Michelle's going to clock her. But I see a world where next season, her and Drew could even make up because even in interviews, it sounds like they're both kind of open to it based off how they're speaking now.
Yeah.
So I could see a world where K. Michelle brings her stuff in. But what I would advise her is push that country album back just a little bit if that's the angle you're going to. At the reunion, you need to make up with some of these girls and reveal your source and admit that you apologize because you should not have listened to them so they can tell you that people do that all the time. And I think that'll work in K. Michelle's favor. I don't think people dislike her. I think they're disappointed because she thought they didn't want the love and hip hop K. Michelle. No, they didn't want you fighting. They wanted the wit though.
Yeah.
I think that's where she read it wrong. But I think she can redeem her. If anybody can redeem themselves the best, I think K. Michelle, her stance is dependent upon the reunion.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Cynthia. I'm sorry, y'all love Cynthia, and I do too. I'm not gonna say she's boring. I don't think Cynthia is boring. I think Cynthia is an amazing friend for the show. But Cynthia is clearly siding with Portia and the rest of them because with those rooms, yes, Shamea and them could have been quiet, but she would have been very very much involved in trying to get it fixed had it been Portia and Phaedra or anybody else. She should not have done that. I'm sorry. Cynthia did not handle that situation right. And every time Shamea's trying to talk, she's always instantly siding with Portia. We all know, I'm sorry, that's that Pisces stuff. Pisces, they're flip-flop. They are. I love them, but if you can't trust a Pisces, if you tell them it's a sneaker, they're going to turn it into a flip-flop. I'm sorry. Am I lying? Pisces are flip-flop. But it's not out of a place of being fake or phony. Let me be clear. Every Pisces I know like to be loyal to everybody around them, and it causes them to get in the mix of stuff. That's what it is with Cynthia. Only thing I want to see with this cast is bring in one more vet. I think one more vet. And if I had to just ease somebody out, honestly, it should be Phaedra. She doesn't really serve a point. I think Phaedra's role could be, that's where you could bring Nene in, not full-time, but as a friend to kind of anchor these girls with Cynthia. I think that would balance the cast out better because Phaedra fits, but she's bringing absolutely nothing. I like her.
You didn't like last week when she says Kelly's boobs hang low. She said she's like a sweet chariot. Her boots are like a sweet chariot. They hang low.
Yes, I just think that the thing with Phaedra is, I think Phaedra would have been perfect if I think Angela wasn't ready for that battle with Phaedra. I think that would have brought the Phaedra out. Angela quickly retracted because I think that she could handle the rest of those girls. And yes, Phaedra does rehearse things, but Phaedra is quick-witted and just as intelligent as Angela. Angela didn't want that smoke. And I feel like if Phaedra isn't going to be activated like that or be deeply involved, she can bow out and not return, to be fair. I like her, but I feel like the vets that I want to see, I would love to see how Nene would anchor the Shamea and Portia thing. Nene would be great in there because she's very balanced. She's not going to take either side, and she would push conversations. The situation with K. Michelle, Nene would have told K. Michelle, babe, we finna come in here, we finna talk to these girls, what's going on. I would like to see Nene and Cynthia and their story with these girls with Nene in there. She knows all of them. They respect her so much that they're gonna listen to her opinion, and she can give a good read. I think that that's the best way to bring her back. I think it may happen. Because her and Andy telling each other happy birthday and all that.
She said happy birthday to him. He never responded. Come on.
Well, I mean, but okay, let me say this.
I have to let you go, Tyler. There's a line.
Okay, I'm sorry. Last but not least, I think after the Real Housewives girls trip thing, we'll see more of her and see where that goes. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tyler. I agree. I definitely don't see them making her full time. I think they're going to continue to punish Nene in a way. Hence why they did not make her one of the OGs for this Ultimate Girls Trip 20th episode, season that they're doing. So I definitely can see them possibly bringing Nene back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, but they would only give her probably friend of. But great points, Tyler. We love it when you call in. Let me just say thank you before I bring up Camille. The Gus says, as a Pisces, Kemp going, love this. Pisces do suffer from victim complex, and Kay is just that. I know the Pisces are going to have a fit in the comment section this week. You see, I've tried not to say much, but Tammy, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Tammy says, I'm not surprised that Kate's husband is okay with not using her eggs. Fake marriage, in my opinion. Oh, did she say she wasn't going to use her eggs? Didn't she freeze her eggs already? I don't know. I can't right now. Again, because I don't know if I believe everything that comes out of Kate Michelle's mouth. Tammy says, thank you for another super chat. Tammy says, when Shamea spoke about Angela's property investment failures, her friends going into bankruptcy caught strays. Oh, her friend going to bankruptcy caught strays? Thanks, Tammy. Deirdre says, I saw a post yesterday that Angela and Charles are expecting baby number 2 together. Deirdre, did you see that on Facebook? Y'all know what I keep telling you about that day of Facebook. All right. And Kurt says, why is Pisces always catching strays? I already know I'm going to hear about it during our Kempire After Dark live show coming back to New York City on September 25th. Because they're going to attack me like I'm the one throwing y'all under the bus all the time. I throw you a little bit under the bus, and then y'all keep going. But it's okay. It's all right. Camille will be our last member caller, and I will give her limited time. Hopefully she will not drag it out like Tyler did. But everyone else, you will get a nice juicy minute. Live chat, I did drop the call link. I'll drop it one more time, even though I've been drinking a lot of water and I got to go. But it's okay. All right. Let's bring up Camille. Camille, what's going on?
I will try not to be long-winded because I tend to be.
Oh, okay, Dorit.
Oops. Lord have mercy. So I just want to start by saying I'm really liking the energy that everyone has with this season. I haven't really felt that in a while. Even last season, it felt like a drag. I watched all of your recaps. I watched 3 episodes maybe, and then the reunion just to get caught up on everything. But this one, I'm actually excited to see what happens next. And I think it's because the cast is a little off. And not everyone is quote unquote perfect like everyone wants them to be. You don't want perfection on reality TV. You want the messiness. You want the what? Like you said you want all of that. But I just wanted to make a quick point about Shamea. I think that she's having a rough go at it because of how she came in and last season. But I wish in an alternate universe, I wish we were seeing other sides of her. Like, I love her family. she, to me, not being from Atlanta, me not being from the United States at all, she seems like kind of like the socialite of the Atlanta scene. And I wish she would kind of play up to the fact that she's a beautiful woman. She's got a great husband and kids, and she's just that girl. I wish she would be comfortable in sitting in that and knowing that she is like fully everything. But I think that that chase for fame is kind of, and that chase for being a particular type of girl is what she's trying to do, and putting on, instead of showcasing who she really is. Like, you're introducing all your girls to billionaires. I want to see all of that. I want to see who you're like, talk about that. I think that,
I mean,
like,
some of those
she's
things
kind
can't be shared on national television, I
of
think.
100%, but you know, you kind of want a little bit of that, and I think that that's there's a lot at play, but I kind of wish that you could kind of see a little bit more of that into it. Um, the last caller that mentioned it, it just irritates me. The last caller that mentioned about the cleanliness of the room.
Yeah.
I think that we also need to be aware that they're filming a reality TV show. They are in like, they're like 3 hours away from like a main city in Texas. It takes time to get people out to get things done. It's not a hotel where you have staff on hand to take care of things. And I think Cynthia did what she had to do. It was super late at night. You got to call people in. All like, there's more than just, hey, clean this.
Yeah.
It's more than that. So I don't like the Cynthia slander for that, because I think she's doing an amazing job being, especially being a friend of.
Yeah.
Being a friend of, and having, hosting in a trip like
trip.
she did.
Not just an event.
A trip like that. I think like we got to put a little bit more respect on Cynthia's name.
And we've dragged Cynthia over the years.
we have, and again, no one's perfect, and we love all sides of these characters that are on reality TV. And I think that with K. Michelle, she is having a rough go at her first season because she's trying to produce. I feel like she's trying to produce, and really, she is telling on herself a lot, because all of the things that she's pointing at other people that they're doing, she's doing the exact same thing. She's got Drew's resume memorized. The fact that, like, I love the fact, I never really watched a lot of Drew's seasons because I kind of fell off, but I like that she was able to go with two people who do not like her, and she cleared the table, literally. The fact that she was able to sit there and handle two people, that I have to give her props right then and there.
Two technically veterans of reality television, because Shamea was on Real Housewives of Atlanta before Drew. K. Michelle's been on reality television for many years.
Yeah,
both went running.
The fact that she sat there, cool, calm, and collected, didn't get out of character. She was witty, she was smart, she was quick with it, and it was just too much for them to handle. The fact that you have that, and then when you look at the scene where Pinky, who else was in the scene? Pinky was in the scene, K. Michelle, Drew, and Cynthia. How they handled the situation, where they said, you know what, now it's time for you guys to talk, and they remove themselves from the situation. I feel like if Shamea had removed herself from the situation and maybe allowed them to actually just have a conversation, it would have went differently. But when you know that you have someone that has your back, you can be slick and you can just get up from the table and leave. If she had just sat there and they actually had a conversation and dealt with it, I truly think they would have maybe at least walked away from the table and be like, you know what, you do you, I do me, and there's no beef.
Yeah.
I think that,
or you sit there, we have a moment that's funny, shady, even if it was like a blow up fight that's going to continue this beef.
The back and forth.
Give us the entertainment. And K. Michelle couldn't even give us the entertainment.
And that's what you want. Even if you're just throwing insults at each other, it's hilarious. At least have that. But by her getting up, leaving her purse.
Chanel.
You left your purse. I don't go anywhere without. I'm taking my purse everywhere with me.
She tried to take her purse though. Shamea took it from her.
And I love that Shamea caught it. She's like, you're gonna sit here. Leave your purse.
She still left.
Because, and then you're cutting off the scene and you're stopping anything from happening. And I think that's what a lot of people are probably frustrated about. Just let the scene play out. You stopping it abruptly stops all of the storylines from actually playing out. And that's why people, at least for me, that's why I like her on it. I do want to see her come back, because you can't really judge people versus their their first season.
Yeah.
No one's perfect on their first season, but I do want to see how she is at the reunion. The fact that even 2 episodes into the season, I'm like, I cannot wait for the reunion.
Right.
It makes me really excited for the rest of the season.
Woo!
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Thanks, Dorit.
It's my home is fully paid for.
Damn!
We're not gonna do that. I do not spend money crazy.
Not the Dorit shade. I'm here for it. Thanks, Camille. Bye. All right, and her name is Camille, like Camille Grammer. All right. Everyone else, there will be a time limit. Shout out to our members. Even if you're a member now, no. You called in late. Okay. Now I've been live for over 2.5 hours. Again, guys, don't forget to join our mailing list. There's all kinds of really great exclusives, reminders. When I go on trips, you're getting the tea. Join our mailing list. It's free. Head on over to thekempire.com/join or click the link in the description. Speaking of the description, check out our sponsors for today. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live show returns to New York City September 25th. There's a live stream option available as well. But if you're in the New York City tri-state area or will be or want to be, this is your opportunity to get your tickets today. Ticket information, again, will be available in the description. Miss Alex says, Kemp said, I got to go. I mean, I've been drinking so much water, I really need to go use the restroom. Well, you know what? I'm actually going to use the restroom. I'm just going to replay our friends over at Hulu. There we go. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud and revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV. Every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. And we're back. We're back. I had to run. All right. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like today's video. It's an easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Also, don't forget that you can listen to an edited, cleaned up version of the Kempire recaps on the Kempire podcast. Make sure you subscribe there because I'm also releasing special episodes. Also, there's Club Kempire. I spilled a lot of tea in the last episode of Club Kempire. If you want to know what's going on over there on Real Housewives of Potomac or Real Housewives of New York, I spilled some tea, so be sure to join there. Let's get to the rest of the calls. Again, calls, please respect the timer. Please respect the timer so that we're able to get through all the calls. You know, I'm very good about getting to all the callers, but if you start talking over the timer, that's very disrespectful to everyone that's been waiting so patiently behind the scenes. Let me bring up Pure Sunshine first. And reminder, guys, the opinions of the callers do not reflect the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged. All right? All right, Pure Sunshine, you're muted. Are you there?
Oh, hey, Kempire, how you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
You put a timer on me.
Yes, come on now.
Let me put it this way. With Shamea, girl, if you would have never came on last season and told everybody what was going on between you and Portia, instead of telling Portia off camera or before the scenes, it wouldn't have backfired on you like it did. Now you looking stupid. Ooh. Then you got Kelly. Girl, you a liar. You said last time this man paid for them $70,000 piano teeth. You're a liar because you was up there drunk and you didn't even know what you're saying. We already know that alcohol is a truth serum. And you sit up and asking about another man. So girl, miss her with that. And are you in Shamea under the sheets? Because you saying her butt feel mighty, mighty soft and you feeling on it. Y'all got some weird energy going on. And like I said, K. Michelle was telling on you anyway, even if you wasn't doing it. Then you got her coming after Cynthia. You know, when Cynthia said, don't talk about people with big feet body shame. Well, I'm still going to say it anyway. Shamea, you are a liar. You totally lied when you set up and said that you didn't want nobody to know that your husband was having a birthday party because you don't want them knowing. But you told Dennis. Dennis is the man around the South. He just like a woman. He would tell anything. And then you set up and said that that see what you do to me, Kempire. I can't even finish. Golly, man.
And there's your time. Thank you so much for calling. You got a minute. You should be happy. Usually it's 30 seconds. All right. Thanks so much, Pure Sunshine. All right. Excommunicado, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Okay, that 1 minute go very fast. Yeah, so for me, K is falling really flat. And it's sad to say because Drew actually didn't do anything in terms of packing in that scene. But the fact that she left made it seem like, oh, Drew had the upper hand. And it's stupid because the previous episode, at the dinner, Kay was able to actually get into Drew and then left her so speechless that she couldn't say anything at the table, but had to revert to making a speech on social media to respond. So I don't understand why you are running off this time. And Drew also, I can't actually totally absolve her because it seems like she throws stones and hides her hands. Because why are you pretending like you don't remember the statement you made about her not fitting in? And I don't know why anytime that Shamea seems to try to come around you to like pacify you and let's actually get the ball rolling. You guys had a series of like compatible scenes previously, and then now you have to say something to kind of tick it off. Shamea and that late invite was not making sense, and I think she could have also invited Portia actually to the event, but that's neither here nor there. For Angela,
your time's up, Excommunicado. Your time is up. Gotta go.
Oh,
thank you so much.
All right, see ya.
I'm gonna be real strict with the timer today, y'all, because we have a long line of people backstage. All right, Makai's backstage. Makai, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, you can hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, I can't hear you, but it's okay. I'm just gonna go fast. As far as it relates to this cast, I think this whole cast works. I don't want to see anybody go. Actually, I do want to see somebody go, and it's Shamea. But I want to see Shamea go for reasons that is kind of, her marriage and her issues. I think that's just, something she doesn't need to show. But you know who I think would really work with this cast besides Nene being brought back as a friend of? I think if they were to get rid of Shamea, they should replace Shamea with Eva Marcel. Eva Marcel has ties with a lot of this cast. Drew, Portia still, Phaedra, and even K. Michelle. And I think K. Michelle really needs a mentor right now besides Phaedra. She needs another mentor to really help her. And then maybe Eva could be that friend mentor to help her. But I like this cast. I think this cast works. I think they're all doing something, pushing this forward. The newbies are providing storyline while the vets are providing us with good reads. It's a good combination. I'll take what I can get.
Okay.
So that's all I have to say.
Thanks, Makai. All right. Did that in under a minute. All right, let's bring up Anthony next. Anthony, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey everyone, Anthony calling from San Diego, California. How are you today, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks. So this episode and this season so far, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Two things: Drew and K. Michelle, and then a future reunion. I cannot believe I'm siding with Drew on this, but like I still like K. Michelle because the fact that she left in the car, left her purse without the whole thing, like really, that was to me funny. But I get that for everyone it's annoying that she does that from here to there. But I don't know. I feel like Kate just didn't study the show or study the overall how Housewives works compared to Love and Hip Hop or compared to any other reality group ensemble shows. It's not her own individual show that she had. I think it was like My Life or something. But it's like you have to resolve this. You have to talk about this and everything. Just because you're annoyed of it, like you just cannot just get up and walk away. So I'm siding with Delulu, Drew, and then also for the reunion coming up. Like I'm wondering how Kay Michelle will actually handle it. Like if she's gonna go walk off like what, like 4 or 5 times. Like you can't really be doing that. But that's all I have to say. Thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Anthony.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. All right, let's bring up Melissa next. Melissa, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah. So number one, I just want to say I'm so glad to hear you. I'm going to put it in the air, in the atmosphere. You are doing a show in New York. I'm so glad to hear that. Number two, around K. Michelle, I am so disappointed. I was rooting for her. I remember her from her Love and Hip Hop days, and I thought, oh, great. Now she's grown. She's matured. She won't be so, I'm going to say crazy. But no, apparently she's always been crazy. I thought she was like that because of the whole Rashida accusing, not believing her. And I could understand why that would be triggering. But she's been so disappointing. Stop listening to the voices in your head, girl. And she honestly reminds me of my ex best friend. I do not believe she's doing this for like TV. I believe this is who she is. I don't know her, but she reminds me of my ex best friend, where everything has to be about her. And when she's not the star, or when not everybody's bowing down to her, it's an issue. And I think she's used to people, I think you said it before, people bowing down to her. And this is Portia. This ain't women who are used to bowing down to anybody. So I'm not surprised she's having such a problem, but she needs to go. And thank you. Love you, Kempire. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Melissa. Take care. All right. Live Well LA is backstage. Live Well LA. What did you want to share?
Hey, Kemp, you're like a celebrity to me, so I'm a little nervous.
It's okay.
But I wanted to say that I think Drew is really carrying K. Michelle, because I haven't seen anything else from her other than like this impromptu marriage. The other thing is Shamea and this birthday party. If you compare it to her party when we first were introduced to her, just telling the guests to wear African clothing, when I think it should be like country specific, tribe specific. I thought that was very lazy as a wife of an African man. I thought that was
But
so
she also told them last
tactless.
minute, so.
Yeah, I think she should have at least given her guests time to get a clothier or have something custom made, but not to be specific. Like, just pick up something from TJ Maxx, and if it looks African, wear it. That's lazy and problematic for me. I think Shamea is more checked out than we all realize. But that's all I had. I didn't need the full minute. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for calling in. Take care.
Okay,
bye. All right. Ooh, perfect time. I didn't need a full minute, but she was almost there. All right. Kathy's backstage. We're going to bring Kathy up next. Kathy, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. So I wrote it down so I can stay within the 1 minute time frame. So I only watched the last 3 episodes, and what I noticed is that too much emotions, water signs. So I'm going to give an astrology point of view. Okay. Too much stubbornness, too many Tauruses, with not enough depth, communication, or fun. I feel like from the last 3 episodes, because I only can go from 3 episodes, that is messy, it's drama, but there's too much unresolved conflicts, which becomes very tiring. So I think Pinky adds the fire, which is a Sagittarius, which is good. And I love that she's there, but they need some air, because air signs, we know how to bring things together, communication. We, especially at Gemini, we like to get down to the bottom of things. We ask deep questions. So they need a little bit more mixture, some air
like
to
Kenya.
Help balance things out. Yeah, Kenya was good. Wendy is a Gemini. You know, most of these casts have some form of an air component to it. This has too much emotions.
Okay.
Cast is good, but they need to probably take out Kelly and find someone. Bring back Monietta. Bring back a Kenya if they can. Or bring Rashida. Love and Hip Hop is gone.
Bye, Kathy.
Rashida will be good.
Thanks, Kathy.
All right, bye.
She said, as soon as she said Rashida, I said, goodbye. Rashida. All right, let's bring up Angel. Angel, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. I just think after watching this episode, we already know that Shamea is cringe, but she's amplifying the fact that she cannot read. And I mean that in so many ways. She cannot read signs. She cannot read the room. She cannot read the writings on the wall. She is ruining her marriage, yet she has all these friends in places that would put her on if she's talented. So she's probably not talented, and she's not reading that. Candy could have put her in a starring role. She put Drew in a starting role. She wrote 2 hit songs for Kim. So, Shamea, you probably need to give up the music. Portia put you on as a friend of and never recommended you, in my opinion, to be a full-time wife. And that's because she knew you would flop and she didn't want to embarrass you. So I think she was more of a friend to you than we want to give her credit for being. So that's it. Shamea just needs to learn how to read. And that's it. Please don't come back, Shamea. We don't want you.
Thanks, Angel.
Bye, Kemp.
Bye. Damn. All right. Let me get to these last couple of callers, guys. Thank you so much for the super chat. Snow, we appreciate the support, guys. You can also support just by liking today's video. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let me know how you'd rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Be sure to let me know what you thought of this week's episode. Are you looking forward to next week's episode and the group trip that's coming up soon? All right. And they're about to have their reunion. What do you think needs to be asked at the reunion? All right, the K perspective is backstage. K, what did you want to share?
Hey, I gotta say, I disagree with the callers that are saying that the cast needs to be changed because it's literally been the most entertaining this season.
Mm.
Also, Cynthia too. They saying Cynthia need to go, but it was her trip that literally lasted 4 episodes. We wouldn't
Mm.
have got that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that people are still mad at Drew about her role on the game is all the more reason to put some respect on her name. You know what I'm saying? Because she been around for so long, people are still mad because she did such a good job. And I don't think she believes she's bigger than Pinky. I think she just didn't want to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Like, as an author and speaker myself, every opportunity is not the opportunity for me. So I get why Drew did not want to do it, co-worker or not. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think Shamea and Portia, the reason why they can't get along is because they both lack accountability. They both don't want to hear about each other. Even we saw that on Portia's show. She didn't even want to hear her family members tell her about herself. So they can never resolve anything. Last thing, Kempire, would you consider doing like a webinar or live, like with your setup and all of that for people who want to do what you want to do?
I've been asked to do that before when I have time.
Gotcha.
Because if I'm going to do it, I there's a certain level of
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Thanks, K Perspective. Take care. All right. We have a couple more people that are backstage, and then I'm going to wrap it up, y'all. All right. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget, you can hear this on the Kempire podcast. Make sure you subscribe today. And don't forget, we will be recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island tomorrow and Summer House Reunion on Wednesday. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure your notifications are on. If they didn't work today, turn them off, then turn them back on. All right. Shout out to our King's Guards in the live chat holding us down. And in the comment section, Maureen online is backstage. Maureen, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi. This is my first time calling in despite being a part of the channel for so long.
Yes.
I just wanted to say in terms of the cast, I do like the cast so far. And I think that they really did their homework in terms of production with just implementing a lot of the changes. I just felt like in season 15 and 16, it just felt like I was just dragging through, just trying to get through the episodes. So I do appreciate them doing this shakeup, especially I think with Pinky's storyline. I think it just gives us more to work with. And I also want to pull back in terms of their costumes for the or for Gerald's birthday party. I do agree with what other people were saying. It did kind of give almost a caricature, like, especially me being East African. I felt like Shamea should have been the one to kind of tell people to probably give them some pointers to what they could really wear. It just felt kind of more like that stereotypical, oh, like I'm going to Africa or this is African. People like to say African and not really specify on the country itself. So I think that if they could have done that, it just would have been a lot better execution. Thank you.
Good point. Thanks, Maureen. All right, let's bring wait, Pure Sunshine, you already called in. I'm not bringing you back up. Thank you for calling in, though. I thought it was another person. No, everyone's gotten their shot to call in and share their thoughts. Let me say thank you because we did V. What's it called? V, I love the new photo. V, face is beat. Thank you for being a member. V says Kempire and hey Kempire and live crew stopping by to show love. I'll be in the replay crew adding my 2 cents. We appreciate it, V. And thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Thanks to everyone that sent in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. We appreciate any way that you can support the channel. Everything Kempire, including our Pride merch, is available in the description. Speaking of Pride, don't forget we are raising money for the LGBT Center here in New York City again this month. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. We are trying to raise $10,000. Let's at least today get to $1,000. We are very, very, very close. So if you haven't donated already, be sure to donate. I will be adding it to this live once we get off of live. So those in the replay crew, please donate what you can or share our video so that everyone can have access and know that we're doing this. So go do that. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show returns to New York City September 25th. So go get your tickets for that. There's a live stream available as well. Meet and greet tickets are available. I forgot to mention that to you guys. Ticket information, again, will be available in the description. I hope to see all of you there. All right. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to our subscribers. And shout out to our replay crew. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this live. Okay. Especially the Pisces. All right, y'all. Again, be sure to check out our sponsors in the description. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone. Here
we go now. Here we go.